Holy God, what are you showing me?
Come on, what are you showing me?
Fuck. That was me that time too.
Okay, where's the opening go?
Get out the beach! Get out the beach! Hans, get off the beach!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the GeekVerse podcast, 469th episode. I'm the Clown Prince of Podcast, Trash Snail, and I'm joined by the man in the upper left corner.
The Cajun Chicken Caesar Taylor Field.
Are you okay?
When does Taylor ever go before me? I feel like it always goes Travis, and then it always goes me. Because Taylor always, like, there used to be an awkward stage when me and Taylor wouldn't know who would go first, and Taylor would always let me go. So then there'd be, like, this 3-second delay of both of us, like, kind of eyeballing it. And then eventually I just jumped in.
Are you
I'm
offended?
the man of Thor. I don't know why I said that. I'm the man of love, is what I should have wrote.
Yeah, the man of wow. He's one of these like Jane Foster's and Thor like sexist people. Like man is Thor, blah blah blah.
Who's this new
'cause-
dude under the Thor outfit?
Because before the person introduces themselves, I didn't want it to like get all messed up and everything. So that's why I thought, I'd start with an order and everything like that. But then you messed me up, and I'm just
Holy God, what are you showing me? Come on!
come on.
That was a stretch. That was a stretch.
That was a stretch.
And we're joined by a returning.
Well, Kirklin didn't really introduce himself. I was going to be Kirklin 2.0.
He's the man of Thor.
The man of love, Kirklin
The man
Batzer.
of-
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I was going to replace Kirklin, but then he decided to still join in. So I'm still going to be Kirk 2.0. Jessica.
I keep reading your name as Kink version 2.0. Like the R is.
I did the
playing with
first
me.
time, actually. I'm glad it's not just me.
Don't kink shame me.
Kirkland, you got like me over there on your right side. You got that long
I know.
thing that keeps falling down.
I don't have any product
like
in my
Hair
hair.
Brothers.
I just
Yeah, me either.
shampooed. I had a toucan before this. I took it off. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna see how this goes. It'll probably shift and morph as we get going, especially if I just get really angry and intense.
Put your hair in front of your face like Maggie's doing. Do your best Art Patterson like Batman, like out of the shower look.
Oh,
Alfred, you lied to me.
like one of those. Should I just
Yeah,
do a whole
yeah,
cast
yeah.
like this with my head down?
Yeah, we
too?
should just the whole time they look in. You can't even see my eyes. I just look like a fucking pervert. But that's okay. I think I'm cutting it this week. I think I'm chopping it before the family before the family photos. It's better. We're not as good as the Hansies though, who look like fucking cousin It when she showed her on the Discord of like what it may be. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We got a newscast. Lots of stuff been dropping off lately. Oh man, side quest. Me and Dylan just did that. We just talked about would Avengers be dead, and they dropped an update today. So look at the timing of that. But they're still gonna die. And then we had Massive Talent review last week. The non-spoilers, the spoiler versions drops this week of me and Taylor. Go check that out. As Bub says, whenever the Batman sequel gets announced, you gotta do the whole cast like that. Kirkland will be able to. If I cut my hair, I guess I'll keep it in a bag and everything like that. But Kirkland, how much longer you keep it? You just
Keep it in a bag.
Here's my.
I
dyed
like the
blo-
length. I like the length. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna do another neck trim here probably this week, but no, I like it.
Yeah, no, it's just summer. I'm ready to. I've had long hair for a while, so I'm gonna get it cut. But Jessica, yours is coming in. You've dyed. You second color now.
Looks very
It-
nice.
Is this color that you're sticking with for a while, or are you changing it again? What's your roadmap with your hair?
I got purple next. It's sitting in my bathroom waiting. But no more blonde. My hair, I'm going to grow it out black. And then when I'm done with all my colors, just go back to black.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I'm looking at you guys pulling yours in front of your face, and I'm just sad about it.
One
can't
day,
even push it down to my eyebrows.
you and Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor.
I don't want hair that long. Fuck. I love having be in the military, short buzz cut kind of thing. I like.
Okay, that's
not a
you don't have
military
military
cut.
cut.
No, come on.
You
no,
have
not
the
right
roll
now.
ball cut.
I'm not saying I have the buzz cut.
Oh, okay.
Go for the Cal Jacobs cut. That's kind of like a military cut.
Cal
but-
Jacobs.
He
Yeah,
doesn't know who that is.
they're not hip. They're not hip. You know,
No, I'm lame.
Taylor's a too good of a Christian boy. You know, like if you were to watch Euphoria, Kirklin, you know what he'd be like?
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
That was perfect. That was perfect. That was an S+
man.
match. That was
Everybody on Crave and HBO Max, the Batman is out. I've already watched it twice. It's just so great. Now we got GIFs galore, HD photos, GIFs, videos. It's fantastic. That's my new go-to. I'll try not to spam it too much tonight, but come on, I gotta celebrate HD version of Batman. But Taylor, where can they find all the links when they're around? You know.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with the internet connection in the search bar, GeekVerse.ca. GeekVerseCast is our Facebook. GeekVerse.
Your voice changed when the music hit.
Sorry, GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. And GeekVerse on our Patreon.
Oh, I
Like
didn't get it.
scratching? Are you on like a DJ table right now? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It sounded like you're scratching it.
I was gonna try and get him mid ad to hear like his voice change and everything like that. Now I just feel like I'm in some like 70s porno or something like that. But yeah, head over to links down below. You got everything: our Patreon, our audio, video feeds, where to find the podcast network, our podcast separate feeds. So for the reviews feed, news feed, side quest, retrospective feed, all that good stuff. Patreon, go support us there. You get episodes ad-free and early. I've been mapping out the whole years. We got a lot of good, or not just years, just year, not years, just year, singular. But we got lots of retrospectives coming up next little bit that we'll be recording. And After 9 is back this Saturday at 6 p.m. PST Kirkland, just to clarify and everything like that. You know,
Yes.
I screwed up, so. That's a Patreon call-in show, so we haven't done that in about a month, so come join. That'll be lots of fun. And as always, go to the website, and you can find everything there. So I didn't really like that one. You know what? I liked the beginning,
No.
but then it got a little too annoying there at the end. Like I still think this one, the Feeding the Ducks one's probably the best one we've had, right?
That's the best one, I think.
Yeah, I guess we could probably... Oh, man. Oh, it's getting loud. Wow, there you go. But that's enough. We're getting the news here.
It's good, yeah, for just like, doing plugs, just doing some little adverts. It gives a little bit more pepper on
Good
it,
sex
you know?
music.
The other one was sex music. Like Travis said, I was waiting for the dude with the big mustache, the 70s porno
Yeah.
mustache to walk in.
Hey, Gabriel, what you doing? But anyways,
wrestle?
yeah, I'm state champ. But so yeah, we're gonna do news right now. We got Thor, we got DC. Taylor, we're gonna talk some Leprechaun tonight. You excited about that?
Oh, yeah. I was surprised. That was in the show notes. I was like, I can't believe you put it in there. This is great.
Light week. You're lucky. No, it's just like it has like the two big head honcho topics, and then there's kind of everything else and stuff like that. You know, so. Thor dropped. Obviously, what we'll do as always, we will like do a kind of scene by scene breakdown watch and stuff like that. But Kirk and Patzer, what were your initial thoughts of the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer? Or teaser. It's coming out July, I think it's 6th or 5th or whatever, so it's not too far away. What were just your initial thoughts, and then also we're gonna break it down.
Yeah, my initial thoughts. I didn't watch the teaser trailer till a couple hours ago. I was kind of away from my phone for the weekend, the long weekend. It came out yesterday, right? Monday?
Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, the teaser trailer. So I had just seen like the GIF of like the Guardians, and then just Chris Hemsworth like face coming in, and I literally just thought that was like edited or something. I didn't believe that was actually in the teaser trailer. I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny edit. But when I actually saw it in the trailer, I chuckled. But all in all, the teaser trailer, it got me really hyped. I was already really excited for this movie. I think everything that was shown, it was vibes of Guardians and oh my gosh, Ragnarok. There he goes. And
yeah.
just a mix of like Thanos out on his own like retirement thing, but like Thor in those shoes. It's kind of funny just seeing that like switch of a role. Very similar Sunset too. He's like watching at the beginning. But
Same
all in all,
planet. He's rented.
is
It's
it
like
actually?
an Airbnb. No, it's
Okay,
it's
I
an
would've believed
Airbnb for gods that need a trip. You know, but
it's
no,
like
it's
yeah, they don't get a lot of visitors.
no.
But all in all, I mean, it reminded me that this is coming out soon, and I'm just really excited. Yeah, I think the comedy in it was good, and it showed enough that it showed enough things, whether it was like Valkyrie and her little like United Nation like meeting she was in or something, where I was maybe just shown things that I wasn't expecting, but it's like, oh, okay, I'm intrigued to find out more about what's going on here with this character, and yeah, man, I'm so pumped for this movie. I was kind of I was gonna say I was kind of surprised to not see Christian Bale's villain in it, but it makes sense if this is just a teaser. They'll save him for the full trailer or whatever. So, all in all, I thought it was a great teaser.
Yeah. S-Bub says, I remember there was a time where the show once came, or the song once came on the entire time with no explanation. And I thought it was something wrong with my podcast app. No, that was probably just, did you guys ever play a song for the entire time on a podcast?
Fuck, I hope not. That would
The
not be on
song was
purpose.
on the entire time.
Ta-
with
Taylor's-
no explanation. I'm trying to understand. What does he mean?
I think he's referring to one of those ad songs, you know? He might be talking about another podcast, but if so,
Yeah, it's probably another.
Taylor just left it on for 2 hours.
I
you know,
definitely wouldn't do that.
especially
You
because
can like barely hear yourself. It's just like the song's blaring.
especially
Talking
'cause
about Halo.
the it was a solo cast, yeah, and the default option is the loop, so you wouldn't even know it. You just have it on there, and man,
But you would hear it. Like we hear it. When
You
it's
could
on.
go into
Yeah.
a GUA StreamYard's lobby, activate the music without anyone knowing real quick, and then leave and see if they notice.
you could. That'd be an asshole thing. You know what they'd probably think? You know what they'd probably say if you did that?
He's gonna blow it up.
They'd say, "Don't do that, Taylor. That's not funny. That's not funny."
Oh, pulled
so-
a quick one on me.
It was really low in the background, but it was noticeable. Oh man, I wonder what that cast was, but who knows? Taylor, do you have something to admit right there?
No, I was gonna say that's Bubs. If you know which episode it is, let me know. I want to know.
Yeah. So yeah, Kirkland, you're excited. You've been excited for this. So you tried to fight
Yeah.
to get it on the top 5, like
Most
for Golden
anticipated.
Geeks, most
Yeah.
anticipated. Yeah.
No, I'm so pumped. I forgot to mention we actually saw Jane, like the first look at Jane Foster with the helmet and the hammer and everything, and I've just been so excited for her return. Love Natalie Portman probably ever since Attack of the
Prequels,
Clones.
yeah.
Phantom
maybe,
Menace, Attack of the Clones.
yeah. Probably Attack of the Clones. That's when she's wearing like that suit that's all ripped too, and they're in the fighter pits, right? With
You don't
and
like her with the
Anakin.
queen wig and all that?
Too much makeup. You know, I like au natural, but she's fantastic. She's Oscar winning actress, isn't she?
She is Black Swan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Fantastic
phenomenal
performance.
actress. So I'm so excited to
Mila
have her
Kunis.
back.
She didn't win
Yeah,
for that
just-
one, Taylor.
Mila Kunis, she's an Oscar-winning actress.
No, she's
No, Mila Kunis is in Black Swan. with
That's
Natalie
right. You are
Portman.
right. 2 points to Taylor.
not.
2 points to Cajun Chicken Caesar.
Yeah. Yeah, let's start with Jessica, because Jessica, I have no idea where you are as far as, so what have you caught up for MCU wise? Like what actually, here's a list. What have you not seen from the newest MCU from Endgame to now?
That
think
answers it.
Fine.
I like turtles.
No, I think I'm
You know what?
actually
Feige
fairly
just
caught
Feige's
up.
watching this and he's
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
That should have been the thumbnail. God. That's what
It's
this whole
gotta be.
cast is.
It's gonna be. But no, I remember Endgame was the last MCU movie review you were on, because then the Spider-Man, then all of them got delayed after, and then they got delayed like once you're pregnant, everything like that. So that's why I know for movies and whatnot you were on that. So I don't know what you've actually seen. I know for a while you're trucking through some of the Disney Plus shows and stuff like that. But have you seen Eternals?
No, never bothered with Eternals.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, have you seen Shang-Chi, Black Widow? Oh, is there one more? And well, you saw Spider-Man, Shang-Chi or Black Widow?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Disney Plus shows?
All caught up. I've got one more episode of Moon Knight.
Damn. Been doing work.
So yeah, it's just finding the ability to join into the podcast has been the problem, not the watching of things, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I even saw Batman in theaters too, but I was a little late on that one.
Oh yeah.
So I actually am fairly caught up. That being said, I never actually watched the second Thor.
I thought you were gonna say you never watched this teaser. I was about to boot you right now. I was like, and now I'm almost gonna say what the Penguin says. Like I was even gonna drop the
Yeah.
gif. Like, oh come on, but no, you never watched the second Thor: Dark World. Well, not that you needed to, even though Endgame they did have some parts in it. But I think you're fine if you miss it for this movie.
And yeah, Natalie Portman wasn't even in that one, really. So
Yes, she was.
Was
She
she?
is in the second one. Yeah, it's the third one. She dips out.
Okay.
That's when they broke up off
So
screen.
I'll probably
when they were
end up
promised
watching
Patty
them
Jenkins,
all.
or is that the second movie?
The second one was Patty Jenkins, when it was like Patty's directing and then she wasn't. So
So yeah, probably have to catch up to figure out what's going on for some of the background. But
Mhm.
overall, I am excited for this. It looks like it's going to be fun. It had kind of that 80s kind of soundtrack going on in the background, similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, with the Guns N' Roses in the background.
Mhm.
I, like Kirk, didn't actually watch this until earlier today, so I felt like I'd seen most of it already in memes. Might have kind of ruined the experience just knowing these little bits and pieces. But yeah, I don't think I know enough. Like, I wouldn't be able to point out the planets and things like that like you guys are, so definitely a little bit out of it on that, but feel like I'll be able to kind of just pick it up as it starts again. It's not to the point where I don't think you'll have to be completely submerged in the lore to appreciate it.
I don't think so with this one. I think they're gonna do some callbacks and everything like that. But I think that for the most part, you'll be able to jump aboard. There'll be some end credits that might be teasing some stuff and everything. But Taylor, what do you think?
Oh, I fucking loved it. Oh my goodness, this trailer was just the bee's knees, and I can't get enough. I've watched it countless times over again, and people that I encounter that haven't seen it, I will just tell them like, "Hey, watch this," and I'll like lean over their shoulder, watch it with them and stuff. This is
You watch that
such-
trailer? He's got like those eyes too. You see my drawings?
It's such a good trailer. Like, start to finish, I love seeing the whole Thor like revelation going on a like find himself quest. I honestly do believe that the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff will literally be the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then it's just going to be Thor doing his own thing.
I'll definitely push back on you that when we do the trailer watches. I think one, if it's the first act, it'll be longer than that, and I think two, they come back at the end.
You
I
think
really
so?
do.
I just get the gist that there's so much more in this movie that, with how little they showed of the Guardians, I feel like, okay, this is just literally setting it up for what it is, and that is they're just gonna drop him off, let him continue on his quest, because he's gonna have some outrageous antics that he's gonna do, and Chris Pratt's gonna just kind of get like, okay, we're ready to let you go. And like he said in his speech, whenever I'm away or in hard times, I think of people that I love. And so I could see them showing up at the end, but I do think early on we'll get like a good portion of 10-15 minutes of them doing some thing together, and then he'll just be outrageous, and then they'll just let him go off, and he'll go with Korg on his quest. So
yeah, like when you say like there's so much to love about this trailer and you're like getting people hyped, like what are the moments? So you obviously the Thor, like the love in your eyes, and he's like moving over, like yeah, that's great gif and everything, that's funny. You got the Jane Foster shot, but like what else is like getting you going right now, Taylor? Because I'm on the other side of it.
Having an original Avenger back with, again, these familiar characters, that was just the first thing for me. Just knowing that we had all these storylines that have just come to a close and wrapped up after Endgame, such a peak event. We get to see the fallout of that with Thor, and I think this is huge because he's going on such a exploration journey to find himself, and he was his destiny to be king of Asgard, right? And that's totally out the window now. He's gone, and he's just on this journey that I feel like is unpredictable. I haven't seen the comics, so I say I haven't read the comics, which is why I say unpredictable, because I don't know what's the outcome for this, but it just seems like there's anything goes for him at this point. It just seems like it's fun, it's humorous, it's adventurous, and seeing those flashbacks of him as a kid and just transcending through up to where he is now, and just this adventure with Korg, it feels really, really good. Like, this is kind of a buddy adventure film that's gonna make me leave the theater feeling really happy, and it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, Talaric says, won't the story have a multiverse tie? I'm with S-Bubs that I don't think so. I think the most you could get in there is a Loki reappearing in the end credits or something like that, which I think is possible. I don't think there's anything multiverse about it. Like, even I know some people thought like, oh, could that be Jane? She's from a different universe, or she's a variant. No, I think it will be the Jane he knows and loves or likes, whatever their status. It's just because I feel that if it's a completely new Jane, you don't have the same history that Hemsworth's like Thor, like this one would have with her, right? It would just be gone. It would be reset. So I don't think that. Like, I guess maybe there's something with Gore the God Butcher, but I really don't think so. But yeah, I guess, and this is where I'll ask Jessica, because I think this will prove my point. Like, and you may have heard something before, but did you know the Guardians were in this movie, Jessica?
Well, just the was it Endgame there when he's
Yeah.
going to leave with them? You know, you kind of make the assumption that they were going to be in it, so I
Mhm.
didn't find that surprising. But I just want to jump back to Natalie Portman for a second,
Yeah.
because you're saying that it would be the same Natalie Portman that he already knew.
Mhm.
How would that work? Are you thinking that she just worked out and became worthy all of a
That's what
sudden?
I'm trying to. My whole life I've been waiting to. Well, that's the whole crux of the story. So like it's different in this story because obviously he still is worthy. Like Endgame there shows he's worthy, but in the comic books, what happened is Thor does some things he's not worthy anymore, so the hammer has to go to someone else that's worthy, and it ends up Jane Foster. Because it doesn't have to be that you're like physically powerful, just that you're of like good-willed heart, right? So the question is how they're going to do it this way. We don't know because they didn't do that whole storyline where Thor is unworthy. So technically, you look at Endgame, like Cap could lift up the hammer, Vision's lift up the hammer. So there's people that have been worthy at the same time. So I guess she's just worthy at the same time. I think they will explain it, but it's not known because how it's happened in the comics is definitely. I don't think they're gonna make him unworthy in this show, and then like all of a sudden, like you go, like I think they're gonna find a new play on it, perhaps. And that I was gonna say, did you know about that? Like, I think you probably knew because we show photos of like the chat of Natalie Portman being buff and stuff like that. But did you know that she was gonna be playing like what they call in the comics is the Mighty Thor, but a Thor equivalent?
I did not know. So that was a surprise for me. And because I knew she wasn't in one of the movies, I guess the third one we said,
Yeah,
it did surprise me to see her coming back. So I don't know. Because she is supposed to be the mighty Thor, right? Like his um, outfit from previously, I
Mhm.
could see it being some kind of variant. Same way that we did have Loki, different costumes for him as variants.
Yeah. I think they're gonna all play on the past. That's the only reason because then there's just they don't know each other. Then it's just another Jane to him. I guess they could do that, but I think it will. I think it will be. As far as do you guys think? Because what Tarek said, do you guys think it would be a different Jane or the same Jane, or where are you guys on the Jane of it all?
Well, I think it is the same Jane, and I hope it is the same Jane. Purely for just, I want those two to like have like a I don't know, a
Arc.
reunion. There you go. Yeah, or yeah,
Oh,
build upon their character arc. I don't even remember like Thor: Dark World. I've literally like smudged that movie out
So
of my
Thor:
brain.
Dark
I've
World
seen it twice,
ends.
but
They
I
are together, and then in Ragnarok, there's just a throwaway line that she dumped him, but then he's like, "I didn't dump her. It was a mutual dumping." So they
my old
broke up.
flame.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
My old flame, Jane.
Yeah, I I also feel like, and again, I'm just pulling all my Jane knowledge from Thor 1 because
Yep.
I wrote off the second movie. But anyways, I really liked her character in that. Like she's mostly just a civilian and a scientist and just a new flame to Thor. But she was really fun. I don't want it to just be this new variant pops in and she just I don't know talks like really military woman and like has no idea who the hell this Thor is and it's just
Taylor
like
Field
all about the
Buzzcut.
plan. Taylor Field Buzzcut, exactly.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's purely my want, and I feel like my want is just pulling my feel for that guess. So
yeah.
not a lot backing it. It's not a lot of credible evidence there, but
Now, Espos, you says there's set photos. Don't share anything more. You get a little too hot and heavy right now. Sometimes with your spoilers because I see your photos or your messages and I'm like,
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
yeah, I don't like that. So be careful what you're showing me. But no, so that's where I think that it makes sense because for me, like we've known for a few years that we knew they didn't confirm Guardians for a while, but we had a feeling they'd be in there. There'd be set photos, so it's okay. We knew they're going to be in there. And Comic-Con they announced, hey, Natalie Portman's come back as the Mighty Four and everything like that. So for me, there's no and that's why when we do the breakdown, and everything like that, I don't think there's anything for me new that's super hype. There's some funny stuff, but I think it is a good. It just feels like an announcement trailer. What the thing I've compared it to is when they say, "Hey, we've only been filming for a few weeks, but this is what we got," and they show like a little bit, and that's all we have. Like you look at the fucking Batman DC fandom trailer, like the teaser, and like we've only been filming for 20 days. Here it is, and it's like, holy shit, this is just like. I feel like it's just like playing the hits. Like it's just like you like the Guardians.
Come on. I feel
It
like what they
is.
showed,
It
the
is.
quality, Batman was so much more like discreet and like hidden, and it was just like a dude in
Yeah.
a suit. Here we're getting like full on CGI scenes of a literal battle, and then there's another scene when like the ship just goes through whatever barrier that is. I feel like that is just so much more refined. Where if you had like that CGI work done in like 20 days, you get like. Remember, did you ever go see like the fan event for Endgame and they showed that like deleted scene for Hulk and he's like this fucking square thing that
I don't mean the
moves?
physical I don't mean what it actually looks like. No. I mean the quality of like how little they show. That's what it feels like as far as they don't have much filmed, so we can only show these segments of the movie. So it's like there's not much hype, and that's why it's like even the mighty Thor pose, like you couldn't have her doing anything. She looks great. The costume looks great. Looks very comic accurate. You couldn't find anything else, and then her just going like.
It's a teaser.
What? Yeah, so was the fandom one. So was some of the Endgames one.
Exactly.
So
We
was
didn't
the
get more
fucking
than that for
the
the
No Way
fandom
Home
one.
one. The No Way Home one. Remember how that ended, Kirkland? Doc Ock arms, Goblin bomb.
Oh,
like,
he's been around since early 2000s. Come on, that's old footage.
But it's not old footage. That's not the point. It's not that it's finished footage. It's just that I don't think they show much. I will agree with Taylor that I like the idea of Thor trying to find himself. There's been two things I've seen so much in the Twitter sphere this week. Is one, if you didn't like Ragnarok, just stop complaining. Prepare to not like this one even more. Taika's gonna go. He's even said he's gonna go more crazy, more nuts. So if you don't like the humor and how crazy and wacky it is, this one's gonna be even more than that. So I would say unless you do this like us as a job or you're a content creator, just skip it. You're not going to like it. I'm telling you, if you don't like this teaser, you don't like Ragnarok, you're not going to like it. If you don't like Taika's humor, 100%. And I get that because there's sometimes I watched Ragnarok last night because I say, but there's still stuff like that jokes that just don't ruin the movie, but definitely bring it down a few points and kind of lowers the serious stakes. Okay, everything's just a joke, so how can it be serious? So there's that point. The second one is, people are oh, how can Thor, after 4 movies, he's still trying to find himself? I don't know. We live in a culture where there's a thing called a midlife crisis. There's people constantly trying to find themselves. And if you look at Thor 1 all the way, Thor 1, okay, so he's supposed to be this king, right? His destiny, like Taylor says, the king of Asgard. That didn't happen. But then you look at Thor 2, Avengers, Ultron, Endgame, Ragnarok. He's thrown into all these fucking situations real fast, trying to find Loki, trying to find the stones, trying to save the world. So it's not like he's had a time to really pause and try to figure things out. He's always been on the move, and that was the point of Endgame, where Endgame ends and he's just alone, and that's why he goes to the Guardians. But he's just alone, has nothing to do, no Asgard, he's not a king, he has no hammer, so it's where does he go? And that's to me the point of he is finally getting a chance to find himself. And that's why, Taylor, I'll point out why I think the Guardians are in the films more, because you can see by certain costume changes where I think there's some character development. So I like the actual journey. I think the villain, I know people go, oh, it's just a teaser, but I think you should have showed Christian Bale off. I think that would have been, especially because they released the poster, the trailer, and the synopsis. And he's all over the synopsis of oh, there's the God Butcher he's coming to collect and blah, 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 blah. So I think I would have liked that. So I think it's a good announcement teaser trailer for people that have no idea or very little on this, because they might not have remembered that Guardians are palling around with Thor. So I don't think this is anything I'm saying, oh man, this teaser, they're in trouble. No, it's just for me, it didn't really do much, but that's also because I'm someone we talk about this shit every week and things like that. So I understand, but I've seen good, just because I hate that excuse. The excuse Kirklin's thrown out there is a teaser. I've seen so many teaser the fucking Ghostbusters Afterlife teaser is more hype than this,
Fuck off.
No, it is. Taylor, you'd agree with that one.
Fuck off. Don't
I've
put
never
Taylor
watched
in
the
here. Fight your
teaser.
own battles.
That the
you
first
coward.
one, oh no, it's good. But anyway, so let's sort of our first ad break, and then we will some of these fools that are wrong. We'll pull up the teaser trailer and we'll break it down scene by scene. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Taylor, I do got to admit, you made a very good thumbnail because, one, you used the image that I told you to because that's obviously our favorite shot of the trailer. But how did you, I don't want to, I guess, reveal your secrets, but very good on the Thor Love and Thunder font or coloring there, sir.
Yeah, I spent 20 minutes just working at that. I wanted to make it as close as could be, and I could have done a better job if I had a little bit more time. But again, it's not in the Thor font. You give me an hour, I can make it rain money for you.
The Flash teaser versus Thor Love and Thunder. I would take Thor Love and Thunder because I to me the Flash had the like I don't know, they dropped the ball. Like, okay, now Flash isn't coming out till June, so I guess it's fine. But when it was coming out in November, well, yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit. But like when it was coming out in November, I still think they should have showed some picture of Keaton, because how do we see Keaton now? Just some fucking PNG image. Yeah. Taylor, you got that image of Keaton? Yeah. Taylor was the one that really had the first one. Yeah, right there. There's the first picture of Keaton.
I want a creative credit too. I swear I told Taylor to do that specific edit.
did.
It's in the audio logs.
But would you guys agree with that? The Thor one's better than the Flash one?
Fuck yeah.
Taylor, I know you've seen it. Are you gonna say yes or no?
I concur.
Yeah, okay. Jessica, I don't think you ever saw the Flash teaser, did you? There you go. All right, pull up the trailer. Let's take a look at this. So if there's anything that needs to be paused, hit the pause button. Lots of people have this theory that this might be one of his kids. That'd be kind of fun, that'd be a good idea. So this is the first picture. Now, obviously, pause there. Yeah. Who's on the
pause?
Who's sharing it?
That's Taylor.
That's not me.
No, Kirklin paused on a fucking tree. A tree? God
You said
damn.
pause. Come on.
Well, you're a little slow there. But so there's two things about this I want to mention. One, obviously, is classic comic book costume. So we're seeing this all throughout Phase 4, where it's like the starter. Like we got that in the WandaVision Halloween episode. This is like his debut costume. So there's that. But this is the first MCU movie to be filmed with the volume. That's the thing that the Batman used. That's what the Mandalorian uses. It's that CGI like dome they're in. So they can, like, this trees in background, they're not there, but they can like make the actors think that they're there. Kirklin, you have it look like you have a really bedazzled look on your face.
It's called the Dome. Is it like a specific
volume.
studio or the volume? It's just a studio, or is it like a method of
It's
like
like
shooting?
no, it's just like I think it's a gear you could purchase to bring to a studio to do. Yeah. So the Mandalorian was the one that made it big, but yeah, so that's where you can get like, that's where like sometimes with Mando it feels small because it's like they have the screen, but it's just like in this one like room they're moving around. But you look at the Batman, that like the stuff they like every time in the Batman when it's Gordon and Batman with the bat signal, that's all the volume on that roof and everything like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that looks fantastic. I think Zack Snyder is using it for his Netflix, like I don't want to say Star Wars movie, but his film inspired by Star Wars. So it seems like it's gonna probably replace, green screen and stuff like that, which is good. I think also for the actors, because imagine the prequel eras if they would have this going on instead of like Natalie Portman stuff having to react
Go
to
see
nothing.
The Hobbit behind the scenes. Oof.
Peter. Okay, so go ahead, hit play here.
So if
go
the
ahead.
first one is supposed to be him or his kid, so who's that middle one supposed to be?
No, I meant like
His
like
brother.
No, I meant Hemsworth's like actual
first
kid is playing him as a kid in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get
that. Yeah, I think
Did you say Hemsworth?
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth.
Okay. I swore I
Hemsworth.
heard a P in
Getting
there.
into the
No,
hemp
you didn't
industry.
hear that.
That's what
You
his
didn't hear
cape's
that.
made of.
Hemsworth. Strongest material in all the galaxy.
Now this costume, hit pause there. Oh, Kirkland's fucking on
What a
fire
delay.
tonight.
That
What
was
a
a delay.
delay.
I'll
Yeah.
back
Thank
Kirkland
you.
there.
No, they
Thank
just got
you.
bad internet. Their tells is going down. But no, we see this later on. I like this like Viking, like the fur look. It's like that jacket Taylor always wanted me to get out of his house.
An old flame.
It's probably the same fucking jacket.
yeah. But looking good here. I really like this.
It is
look
looking good.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's like
Let me
well
ask you-
shaved too. This must be later in the. I guess you just
Yeah,
said that.
well groomed. I'd say well groomed, not shaved. He still clearly has some stubble going.
You know
on,
what I meant. You didn't have
Let
to
me
pick
ask
it
you this:
apart,
do you
but-
think some
Hopefully
of these
he's using
scenes
Manscaped,
are
GVPOD,
spliced
20% off.
with the past, like past sequences of like Hemsworth doing different adventures or something like that? Or do you think this is like all scenes of him post Endgame?
There could be a mix. I think this one's the current day because that's the same costume supposedly that he sees Mighty Thor in at the end there. So I think this is a present day one. We don't know where it fits in the timeline, but yeah, present day. All right, there you go. Taylor muted himself for no reason there. So this is where we start
Cool
talking
shot.
about
Beautiful shot.
very cool.
symbolic.
This is when we start talking about that and I like this. He wants to be a pacifist. He's not going to be fighting anymore. He doesn't want to be a superhero.
Is that what you got? The pacifist thing? I didn't fucking get pacifists out of this trailer.
What? He literally
growing
says he's
another
tired of
Groot here.
fighting. He literally
Tired
says
of fighting? Yeah, I took it like just, hypothetically, like, I'm just exhausted from all the fighting and the battles. I didn't get pacifist vibes.
I say that every night before I go to bed.
Like
Tired of fighting.
there's literally a shot here. Kirkland hit play of like they're going to run in a battle, and Thor's like turning away. He's like, no, that's not
Look at
really
that
my life
sunset.
anyway. Like I think
Straight out of Thanos' retirement plan. Look at
yeah, or
those.
Lion King. He's trying to look
Or
for Wakanda
Wakanda.
up there. Yeah, He's
That's
just
that
in
sunset.
Wakanda.
Killmonger's there dying.
Yeah. Great. Look at this view. But
I literally
yeah.
thought this was like some sort of I don't know, Chewbacca figure. Like his head. I thought it was like he was standing on a hill. First time I saw it. I don't know. if
Great
you can see that,
observation.
but Great observation.
And then Hemsworth, looking
You keep
great
saying
as
Hemsworth.
always.
He said it, right? He
no,
said
I didn't.
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth. You guys
That
are hearing
ass.
shit. Everyone play it back. So now this is something that I'm surprised because people had said, hey, in between Endgame and this, are you going to see the transformation? I actually didn't think you would. I thought you would just jump to he's in shape, we're good to go. So it looks like we're going to see Hemsworth get in shape Thor style. So that's cool. He's wearing some hat that's something like Strongest Avenger, something like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, no, he's got the trucker hat, and I like that we have this little transformation montage, workout montage that he's going to be going on. This monster too that's attached to this chain. I love when that stuff's thrown in, and there's another like snowy one that's deceased, but later on in this trailer, and I just like that because it just shows such a grand scale of like the world that they're on. I'm assuming he's going to be going to different planets, but I feel like you don't get a bunch of different monsters like that shown like just in the background of a movie like this. It's either like a main threat or something like that. It's just more world building, and I want more of that stuff. It reminds me of Star Wars. It reminds me of just any really like sci-fi type thing. So it's really fun to see.
Do we think
Look at that
that
thing.
this is going to be just like you said, a montage of him being unfit and then fit all of a sudden, or do you think it'll play into the storyline where one planet he's just semi-fit and he's having a hard time fighting, and then he slowly continues to get into shape as the movie goes on?
yeah, because I feel. Well, actually, at the what I think it could be is we'll meet him when he's in shape, and then he talks about where he's been like the past like 6 months, and it shows a montage of everything that's happened leading up to that point. Because I don't think they'll start with him out of shape, and then like I guess you could be the Guardians, him on a mission, and he just couldn't do anything. But we've seen that's not the case because in Endgame he still could fight Thanos while he was in that shape. Like he's put on some weight, but he's still fucking muscular. He still has like the powers of the gods and stuff like that. So I think you're gonna get just maybe a montage of where he's been the past 6 months to a year, whatever the time frame is. So.
Yes, Bob saying Batflick was the blueprint for Thor's routine. That's
Oh,
exactly
fuck.
what I was thinking before he's getting ready to fight Superman.
He's gonna be
Just
pulling
getting
tires
shredded.
next.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like you're saying, Kirklin, just the scenery and everything. I just want to shout out the fact that he's on Skull Island and he's just playing with Kong's chains. 'Cause it's
Is that King
absolutely
Kong?
amazing.
He got
It's
fucked
gotta
up in
be
this
King Kong.
universe.
Oh, yeah,
he
he did.
didn't even leave the. Just chained him there and left him. God, that's so morbid. He's got kind of a gorilla type head. Goes to show
Does he?
my knowledge on Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom. Fuck it. Probably
I
not.
don't say that's gorilla type head. I think you're off the mark on that one.
Yeah.
I ain't no zoologist.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll find out. But all right, hit play here because I'm pretty sure the shot coming up that I was talking about. So go back to that shot right there.
He's derobing.
So yeah, there's clearly two types of Thors. Yeah. So there's two types of Thors. There is Thor when he's talking about and can we settle this? Yeah, lots of that. Can we settle this? Like I feel like he's taking the pacifist, like he doesn't want to fight route. Kirkland and Jessica, do you feel that, or you would Taylor's side that he's apparently just using as like, what was your expression, Taylor? He's just
He looked like he's just making a show and like I have achieved us victory today. That's how I kind of took it. Like he's taking
What?
credit or something. I don't know. I just feel like
You see that
he's
on
being
a shirt or something?
I took it as he's being obnoxious or something in this moment, like his
Okay.
classic Thor self.
I want to lay it out that I think before they go, because now I feel you took us on a different track. I think this shot at the end here, this jacket, this shirt, this is more near the back half end of the movie. I think you start with maybe regular chubby Thor. When he has the cape, the classic red cape with Stormbreaker, that's when he's down and out. That's when he's trying to figure out what he's doing because, for example, Korg later on pops up in this trailer. Korg is not with Thor. Korg, he would meet Thor back on Earth. So that's why I think when he's in this getup, this is when he's more confident, and this is when he's like accepted his new self. He doesn't have the cape. He doesnn't have, the Asgard like armor and stuff. I think they're showing this in the beginning of the trailer, but I think this is more near the end. I think all the down out stuff, like I said, there's a shot coming up where the Guardians run into something and he just turns their back and goes the other way. So I think he chooses not to be a fighter, but I think he's gonna realize like he's not a weapon. He's just gonna fight for the things he loves because it's love and thunder, baby. That's what I'm taking from it.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn because I definitely agree that there is going to be some sort of existential crisis where he just has to hang up his Stormbreaker, or I guess bury it in this instance, that he made a little grave for it. And then he goes off, and I think that's definitely different from this scene. I mean, if you just look at his belly, he's got no beer belly here. I don't see the abs coming through the shirt, but it's definitely no beer belly there. So.
Those are abs. You can clearly see two abs.
I would
poking
say
right there.
those are abs for sure.
Yeah, right. You can see them
He's
glistening.
got Stormbreaker in there.
But either way,
underneath the
do you
shirt.
think that when he's walking away, is he actually taking a pacifistic
Well, I
role?
can't
or
even
whatever
remember
Taylor
now. Is
thinks?
this the same scene? Can I fast forward, or are we still?
They're splicing them to make it look like what Taylor's saying.
They're
but I think
different,
they've tricked
though.
Taylor.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think they're. Yeah, I think they're pulling tricksies on us.
Yeah,
Mostly
they're
Taylor,
trickster.
but it's weird because I feel like he also is like maybe in this instance, Star-Lord is like the general on the battlefield, and then Thor is just doing the classic thing of like taking over, like the call. I don't see a weapon in his hand other than those guns. Jesus Christ, look at those arms.
Well, his gun's
Um,
behind his back too. That's what he's holding.
He just pulls out
pistols.
like Mac 10s. Yeah.
Yeah. I use
Um,
guns now, baby.
Because he's Thor. He's got to be a fighter. He can't just be all about the love.
Unfortunately, it blocks out Jessica when you bring up a comment. But I agree with S Bubs that this could be the last scene or shot of the movie. I really do think so.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, also, he's going to realize he doesn't have to be Thor because there's going to be a mighty Thor. Jane Foster can be that Thor with Mjolnir watching Midgard, where he can go out and be his own Thor, you know?
Just party.
Well, it
Thor,
does look like
on What
there's
If.
smoke or some kind of battle in the background too, right? So this could be
That's where he's coming from.
relevant to
Yeah,
something. But I definitely agree with you, Travis, that this is him, like you said, just kind of accepting that he doesn't have to be full on, God or full on just mundane. Somewhere he can be somewhere in the middle, and it will fall kind of part way in the movie for that. And I think I don't know where I'm going with this thought, so I'm
That's
gonna
fine.
just leave it at that.
Hit play then,
Interject.
Kirkland. Yeah. Hit
Well,
play.
one last thing
Taylor, you're
before,
alone. It's
before
okay.
I move it on, is this jacket, Travis? It actually reminds me of the Star-Lord jacket from the Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
one without the sleeves.
Yeah,
I
100%.
hope there'll be some fun thing where it actually is like a Star-Lord jacket, and then
Well, I
he just
think-
gets it now. That'd be
Well, it's
so
Ravager
funny.
clothing, right? It
Yeah.
kinda fits that aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I think Taylor is right in a sense where it is Thor being like a little obnoxious here, but I think he's just accepting like he wants to be a guardian.
I
or he
wanted to
want-
stay Star-Lord on the back, like the Marvel's game. That'd be so great. That'd be so funny.
But I think it is like him showing back. I could even see the end of the movie. Like he does all his Thor stuff and he just finds the Guardians and they're doing their own mission. He lands and he's just like, I'm back. And that's where he takes this off. And he's like, Star-Lord is happy but not happy. Because I still don't think, no matter what, Thor is not going to be in Guardians 3. I don't think that's going to happen. Even if he ends up with back of the team, they'll write him off because I think they want to finish that off by themselves. So, all right, Kirkland, go ahead. Yeah, Star-Lord's not happy there.
What's that race, or is this a new race? The blue people here.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
The Navi.
Fuck. They do own them. Here, this
See,
shot, yeah.
This is a completely different attire. Yeah,
Yes.
he has
Yeah.
Stormbreaker. Same planet, it looks like. So good spice
Yes.
on them.
Yeah, and
Cool
that's
bar,
why I think
Resident
Taylor,
Taylor.
I think they're getting. Yeah, I don't think they're the same. I think that this is the beginning of the movie because look at this face, and this is where I'm so happy. We'll see this later with the shot that me and Taylor do really like. That Hemsworth is he's like you look at Thor 1 to Thor now. Thor 4, I guess. He's just such a better actor, and I feel like his comedic timing is just through the roof. But even stuff like this, like he's just so good as Thor, and I just feel like in this scene you can see in his face like he does not want to fight anymore. He's been a weapon, and that's the whole thing. I think the crux of the movie. He's been a weapon his whole life. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He only wants to fight if he kind of like has to, which you could argue like he kind of had to in Endgame. But in Endgame he didn't want to fight, right? But yeah, this is definitely I think near the beginning where he's a little down out. They might kick him away from this. They might say they don't want him on the team because maybe he's not helping. You know, like he's more of a burden than help to them being around. So,
Which is interesting because he kind of had that role in Endgame, right? They all were kind of annoyed with him. He was just kind of
Yes.
lingering. Just
he almost
down and
botched the
out.
mission because
Oh,
remember
100%,
he was not
yeah.
supposed to interact with anyone from the past, and he like talking to his mom. He was trying to see Jane. You know, he was
Yeah.
not doing good. So
His old
So it
friend.
does kind of lend itself as well to your idea that the Guardians are in the beginning and then at the end, if this is
Yeah.
the beginning, and then when he throws off the cape is later on, and they're there again, right?
yeah, that's
What
what
if
I
the
think.
beginning of the movie they're like doing this big battle on this planet and Thor just can't help, and then he goes off on his adventure, which is like the equivalent of the entire movie, like a 2-hour length, and then he just shows up at the end. They're like still doing their battle. It's
Well, the
just in
planet
shape,
looks kind of
ready to go.
similar though,
But he's in
right?
shape here too, right? They're kind of hiding his belly, but still.
No, I think this is him in shape. I think he gets in shape when he's with the Guardians still. I think
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be lots of time that pass. But even though this planet looks like it's similar terrain, that one is where he has the jacket on. So there could be a chance that either the Guardians are there for a while, or he does do the whole taking off the jacket thing, and they kick him out for, I don't know, being a poser or something. I don't know. They like it could go either way. But that shot that I talked about at the end still could be the middle, I guess. But I don't know. That's the fun
Yeah.
thing with these things, you know.
I feel like every outside shot in this teaser has the exact same lighting, so it's hard to tell which specific day it is.
All right, let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, he's out of
Fuck
here.
off.
He doesn't
And
want
then
to
this
fight.
is Guardianship.
Yeah, so go back there.
Went back
So
there.
obviously very Marvel heavy, where everybody thinks like this. Yeah, go a little bit. There's a huge space on
Look at
the
those
left
pants.
side.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a huge space. Look at
Oh, yeah.
Korg's belt buckle. My God. It's
So
looking like
just
Nick
note
Cage's
this
belt
is-
buckles.
This is the same outfit that he was wearing in the one where he threw off the cape, right?
Yes. And the thing is, like, there's two working theories. Either Korg goes and finds Thor, because Thor and Korg are not together at the end of Endgame. So either Korg goes to find Thor and he brings him to Earth, or this is near the end of the movie and Thor is at Earth and he's with Korg. Now, the thing that I know everyone's saying, and I think people are right when they're saying that why is there such a big space? We've seen with No Way Home, we saw with Civil War, we saw with Infinity War. Anytime there's a big space in a Marvel trailer, we usually know something's up, right? My only thing is I just don't know who the character would be, because I'm not expecting any massive surprise in this. Like, I don't think they edit out Valkyrie. They clearly wouldn't edit out like Jane Foster, because they show her at the end of this trailer. So obviously my brain always jumps to fuck, is it Loki again? But I don't know who else it really could be at this point. Like, I don't have any theories of some mysterious character that I would see, because I don't think this is gonna be the big cameo movie. That was No Way Home. That's Doctor Strange. You know.
And you were saying, or you were assuming this would Earth, or is not
I'm not
necessarily.
assuming that, but something has to have happened because Korg and Thor weren't together, right? So either
Yeah.
Korg went to him or Thor went to him, one or the other.
Yeah,
It's also a
too big
different
of
planet from that war planet he was fighting on, right? Where he did his reveal, and
Could
now he's
be,
on
yeah.
a different planet now, obviously, because the whole lighting is different, completely different landscape where we're at
Yeah.
now. So, if Guardians drop him off somewhere with Korg, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
it's
get
too big of a space to have Meek.
yeah. And as Bub says, it could have been Jane if they wanted to keep it at the end of the trailer. I guess, but that's kind of like, what's the then just take the shot out, you know? Like, why did you make your poor FX team edit Jane Foster out just so you could save her for the end of the trailer, you know? But
I
Well,
mean,
maybe it is relevant in the movie, and they want it to be a surprise in that sense. Not
Could be.
relevant to the trailer, but
yeah, could be whatever she's looking like. She's just dead. She's laying there dead, and again, he's just all
He's
happy.
just
over her.
smiling like that.
Yeah, yeah.
you know, if it's the same, it's the same Jane Foster, and they are happy now at the end of the movie together. She's there with them, staying on Earth.
She's got a belly. She's pregnant with the God baby, you know?
She's
that's
got a belly.
no, that's
where
not
my mind went.
happening. No, she's gonna be left in action. They're gonna make sure she can stick around and fight. Taylor, you had a thought. I saw you working on there.
well, I remember in the Infinity War trailer, they showed Wakanda Hulk running in behind the troops, right? But then it
Yeah.
turned out just to be actually Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster suit, so
And actually, that shot never existed.
of Hulk.
Yeah, because that shot also had like Black Panther running. There was people that were snapped. They just did that for the trailer. There wasn't even a
Right,
real shot in
yeah,
the movie. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So, but I don't think this is. I think just clearly there's someone there.
The action movie, Korg's not even in here. It's just like literally Thor by himself.
Just all this dead space. Like, fuck, like hey, Korg's looking pretty CG over here, but yeah, we'll see what
Look at
happens.
those eyes, eh? Those things. They're so derpy. Like there's no life behind those lights.
there. No, not at all. All right, so go ahead, Kirkland Patzer.
It's July.
So far, you
Very
know,
cool shot. The little chariot and the flying oxes there.
So pause right. Oh, you can go. Well, you actually keep there. So that chariot, the original writer of Thor, he made a tweet where he said, like the very first Thor movie, he said, "I know Marvel's loosening up because we pitched that in the first movie and they shot it down, but now they're being used here." So that's how you can kind of see they're getting a bit more weird. You know, almost 10 plus
said
years
that?
later. So the guy that wrote Thor 1, the movie, said that they had
Okay.
pitched in the script to use that chariot because it's from the comics. And they said, nah, like, we don't really want, like, no, don't put that in the movie. But here we are, you know, almost, because Thor 1 came out 2021. So here we are, 11 years.
2021?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Thor
Or
1
sorry,
came
two-
out in
2000
2021.
2011. So we're 11 years later here, and they've agreed to it. So shows how weird they're getting.
It's just really like what popped out to me in this scene is these golden buildings. There's one right here and one back here, and then if we go back just a wee bit,
A wee lad,
a little bit of a golden building here. I know they're way smaller. Do you think this is like
Isn't
same
that-
planet?
I thought that
That's
was New
New
Asgard.
Asgard.
Well, maybe they're growing a lot to get to the point where they got this.
Well, that's
No,
where
that's
Zeus
a
is
random
hiding
time
now.
jump.
Yeah. But if that's on Earth, man, I feel like never mind them going after Wakanda. New Asgard is in big trouble. But yeah, there's this woman who I don't know if anyone. S-Bubs here. Go back in the chat. That woman. S-Bubs, tell me if you've seen anybody online figure out if this is some sort of comic character or whatnot. I don't know if this
Dead
is.
guy right here.
I don't know. Is it actually a guy?
It's a dead person, 100%.
Looks like it.
Oh wow, Thor's just being.
Oh,
There's a
there's
kraken too. You see the
there's more
kraken
too.
in the background?
Oh, Taylor's
yeah.
excited now.
Oh yeah.
But I wonder if because I don't know if this would be a comic character. But yeah, do you think this is a real thing that's happening, or do you think it's
It
like a
looks
dream
like a
sequence?
movie or something.
Yeah,
it's
it
like a
doesn't look-
play. We're going back to the plays.
Yeah, like I could see this being maybe in his mind, or like someone telling a story about Thor, and it's like really like heightened, like this is not actually what happened. But I don't know, it just felt a little fantastical. So
Very interesting hair choice too. At first I thought she was wearing a hat, but it looks like she actually just dyed her hair that way.
she could be though. It
Very
could be a
unique.
hat.
I feel like it's blending in with her.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
see
think
the
it's
hair
hair.
strands.
Joking. Jesus, hit play.
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Okay.
Nice little longboat.
Oh,
flying through the air.
damn.
Look
And
at this
then
Captain
here's-
Marvel. Look at this Captain Marvel outfit right here. The colored tones are like
So
the exact
obviously,
same.
yeah, the toys have come out. Lots of people don't like the golden blue look. I love it. I get more color in there. I'm fine with it. People I think are just being too loserish, you know. So
Chance Captain Marvel's gonna be
too
in this.
picky. No, I don't think so.
Even the Stormbreaker just has Captain Marvel vibes to it too, right? Just her
Like the
energy.
effects. The effects.
very
totally.
much so.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
standing next to him in that scene with Korg, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, S-Bub says about Stormbreaker shooting the Bifrost. It has that ability. So I'm not sure where he's going to be traveling, but he's going somewhere. So obviously, yeah, keep it hidden play here, Kirklin, because a big thing's going to come up. So right there. So that is Russell Crowe. They don't show his face in the teaser, which I was kind of like, why not? Like, I don't know why they would be revealing. Like, they've announced he's in the movie, so I don't know why you wouldn't show it. But he's playing Zeus. So obviously, so Jessica, you don't know this villain. Christian Bale is playing the villain. He's playing Gore, the God Butcher. So I think you can kind of guess what his motive is. In the comic books, the gods promised to protect his family, and they did not. So then he makes it his kind of mission to go after and kill these gods. What I love about this scene is I really think Christian Bale is going to crash this joint party that's going on here, and he's gonna fuck up a lot of people in here, and he's gonna kill the shit out of Russell Crowe. And I think we're gonna get, like, I don't know if about a montage, but I think we're definitely gonna see him kill a few other gods. And that to me is my biggest question: is why does Thor go back to Earth? Does he go back to Earth because he hears about, oh, there's another Thor and he has to go check it out and it happens to be Jane? Or does Gore, like the villain, bring him back to Earth? That's what I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. I think if my, like, a gun to my head, I think it's he hears about Jane and he goes back there or whatever, a Thor. But this is definitely, yeah, Gore's going to take out, he's going to take out Zeus. Zeus don't stand a chance here.
How much screen time is Zeus having in this movie?
4 minutes.
7 to 8 minutes.
We'll do another draft.
Screen time draft.
Screen time draft, yeah. I really hope it's like borderline, like pushing that PG-13 too. He's a god butcher, man. I want to see some like brutal deaths.
It's
That's what I
Taika. Yeah, I don't think he's going to go
Get
that
You
out.
want
far.
blood, you want nudity, you just want vulgar
Just-
swearing.
Dicks out while he's
Dicks
out
He's just
butchering people.
naked. Yeah, like he,
That's why they don't show his fronts. His cock's just whipped out.
Zeus
It's like
cock's
blurred out too.
Yeah,
His cock's out, but it's like blurred.
Let us fuck.
That's probably what he's saying right now.
Yeah, look, he's really excited right now. But
Morpheus is like standing in one of these towers over here. Yeah.
I've been waiting all these years of a hologram.
Go check out our Matrix retro.
Yeah, Matrix Retro, Matrix 4, one of our biggest reviews last year. But what does that synopsis of the villain, Jessica? Does that interest you, or does it sound too generic for you? And did you know Christian Bale was the villain as well?
I did actually know that. I was looking it up the other day, trying to find out kind of information about this when the trailer first dropped. But my question would be, besides Zeus, what other kind of gods are really relevant or have been talked about? Because you're saying there'd be some kind of montage. Obviously, we're not just going to have here's the killer and here's the one god that he's tried to
Jesus.
kill.
I want to like interject this question before
Yeah.
it reaches Travis here. I'm assuming there's literally like a character for every single like Greek god in like the mythology, since we have like Odin, Thor, Loki. I can only imagine if we have Zeus,
Yeah.
there's probably one for every
But is
single god.
he's only killing Greek gods then?
I think
Like
well,
there has to be Marvel Universe gods out there as well, not just Greek gods.
I think he's if I like it sounds super
Well-
generic, but I feel like if you're a god, like I guess the movie will set up what he made a deal with, right? Because what we're going on with Moon Knight right now, we have those type of gods, right? These Egyptian gods, and like Espo's pointed out, there's been rumors that they have been in. So I don't think this will happen, but like I'll just imagine if he found like Gore found some of those Egyptian gods that are in Moon Knight and he just fucked them up and killed them. Now I don't know if they're going that far. It's the MCU, so they could connect that. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but like Kirkland said, there is an equivalent. Like technically in the they haven't brought in the MCU, but in Marvel there is like a Hercules. Like there are all these characters in there. So I don't know what other ones they will be, as because unfortunately like Odin's gone. Loki's gone. So like obviously you have Zeus and then you have Thor. So that's two he's gonna go after. And that's why maybe Gore goes after Jane Foster thinking that's like, Thor Odin's son, but it's not. So maybe that gets him there. But so like right now, as far as the ones we know in our canon, it's just like this guy we're seeing Zeus and Thor. All the other gods are kind of unfortunately gone, but they could, I guess, just like we never met Russell Crowe until now, right? And they're just introducing him. So they could just introduce some more in this movie, then just kill him off right away.
I love this vibe too that's going on. I feel like there's just like they're partying 24/7 up here in Olympus. They're just there's sexes in the air. They're living it up. I love it.
Yeah. And then
This thing. Oh, I love
yeah,
it.
that is Falgar, the oh my god,
Behemoth.
Behemoth. Thank you very much. Holy
Behemoth.
fuck. I'm exhausted. Behemoth. So this is, you can look online. This is from we might do comic version on, but this is from Thor: God of Thunder. This is legitimately, if you look online, like ripped from a panel. This is the same thing. This is another god as well, though, in the Marvel canon. So this like thing right here is a god. So that's what I mean. Like I feel we're going to like this. I don't think we're gonna, even though I'd like it, I don't think we're gonna see Gore actually kill this thing. I think it's just gonna be like he killed him. But still, from a screen presence, if Thor walks up and he looks at this huge creature and Gore has killed him, it's impressive. So there you go. You got Behemoth and then you got Zeus. So that's two.
So what's the line drawn between gods and celestials? Because this thing reminds me more of being a celestial being than a god, I guess.
That's murky waters,
That's a whole other podcast episode.
It's like I don't know, because it's the same thing. Like technically, you look at old MCU and even the comics do proposes, but the old MCU like almost proposes Thor is just an alien, right? Because he's just from a different planet. He's not so I think that's kind of up to the eye of the beholder of like what is a god and what isn't. That's the eye of the beholder even nowadays, Taylor. You get to decide what a god and what isn't.
Good.
Yeah, good. All right, there you go. So you like that, Taylor? Bubs, he's killing for sport. You like that?
Is killing for sport? I do like that.
Yeah. All right, Kirkland, go ahead.
I love too just the idea of
Kirkland's not done.
Thor and Korg just like going out and like investigating like these murders. Basically, it's just such like a random like buddy cop duo, but I love it. And here obviously he's got the like the fur shoulder thing going on, that image that we saw earlier on.
Travis's coat.
Travis's coat, yeah.
I wish he had the cape. He's cold though. He's cold.
He is cold.
New Asgard, and then we
Just
got
annoyed with life.
yeah. And then if you look in the right corner,
there he
that's
is.
Meek.
That's Meek.
Yeah, that's Meek in a suit.
Well dressed man. I like
Yeah.
that suit. Very nice.
So obviously, because New Asgard's trying to be like a country in Earth, it's trying to, I imagine lots of sanctions, lots of UN meetings, stuff like that. So I don't know. I still like it's happened in the comics. I don't know how I don't know how much screen time I really want of them trying to make New Asgard an official country. I don't know. That's could sound like it'd be a little like not that interesting. It feels like a lot of like if you remember Thor: Love and Thunder, like a lot of the stuff the Executioner to me was like you could have moved it away, but we'll see.
Beautiful shot of Olympus. I love it.
Mhm.
Looks
Yep.
good.
Gonna get fucked up. Even though in the red cape people down below, that I think that's Thor and Korg right there, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That could be maybe Thor comes to warn Zeus, and Zeus is like, "No, don't worry about it. We're gonna be fine." And
This kind of reminds me of Valkyrie too, eh? With the blue robes.
Yeah, it could be.
And I don't know.
I would love to see Surtur just appear and just fucking wreck shit here too.
It's not his movie.
No.
He finished his mission. Asgard's gone. And this shot. Talk about comedic timing. Yeah, the looking at Hemsworth is just so fucking good. Like he's just so like I said, compared to where he used to be to now, man, he's just one of the stands of the MCU, and just his comedic timing. And I get that's why. Like if people don't like Thor being comedic, more comedy driven, I get that. But man, like he's just so good. Like how can you not do it? And that look right there, it's just haunting.
I've never seen a look like that before. Like, ever. It's just so fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's just desperate and happy and sad all at the same time. Like I don't know what it is, but
Looks like he's on the brink of crying and laughing at the exact same time.
Yes. And then, as everyone's pointed out, like it's a no dot thing because I've just seen, oh, look, Gamora's not there. Yeah, Gamora's not there. They clearly haven't found her because they're not just gonna find her off screen. They're not gonna have Endgame Peter
That's
Quill's
who's
looking
standing next to Thor.
Yeah, they're not gonna have like, oh, we haven't found Gamora, and then this movie starts. Oh, we found Gamora. It's all good now. You know, like they're gonna clearly build up to that because she's missing. So, yeah, and then they split off. Yeah, he's in his look there, obviously, and then it ends. This very underwhelming teaser ends right here. But you
Get over yourself.
Yeah, you get one more cool shot. Yeah. Thor.
I was trying to see the
looking-
monsters in the background.
I think lots of them could be people because she's clear on Earth. There's cars and stuff. People think this is like an invasion of New Asgard. Go a little bit, Kirklin, because you got to see the guns. You're cutting that off.
Yeah,
There
look
you
at that
go.
definition. Hot damn.
Yeah. Natalie Portman, as you've seen from set photos, she put in the work. And yeah, this is my question to you, and Jessica, I'll start with you. So when he sees this figure, do you think he's right away going to know it's Jane, or do you think he's not going to know? Because obviously she's going to be more built. She has more blondish hair than she did in like the other Thor. So I'm not sure if when she becomes Mighty Thor, if her hair changes, if it's going to change the whole way. I think it's going to be when she's Thor, her hair changes. So do you think he'll know right away, like, hey, this is Natalie Portman's character, whatever it's from? Or do you think there's going to be a little bit of who is this woman? I got to find out, yada, yada, yada.
Well, I think we've all learned in superhero movies, if you cover half your face like that, no one knows who you are.
Exactly.
So I would guess that no, he's not going to know until, maybe even they'll fight together, have this battle, and then she'll remove the helmet and he'll see that it's her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I didn't know who it was, I don't know that I would have guessed Natalie Portman right off the bat looking at this between,
See,
the
it works.
helmet, the different hair, and the muscles, right?
Mm-hmm. It works. See, she could be a superhero. You wouldn't even know. You'd be like, is that Natalie Portman? No. Kirk and Patzer, what about you?
Oh, what was your question? I was reading something else.
I knew I'd caught him. No, I said, do you think Thor will know this is Jane Foster right away when the first time he sees her?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be that moment when he's just wanting to go all lovey-dovey with her, and she... I don't know. It's not like she doesn't know who he is, but maybe she doesn't recognize this version of Thor that she's seen. I'm not saying that he's a variant or anything like that, or she's a variant that doesn't recognize his character. It's just it's been so long, and there's just been so much shit. And maybe just the heat of battle, they don't really notice each other. Because I think it's gonna go that route, and then they'll hopefully win each other over by the end. But I love just seeing the cracks too in Mjolnir when it flies to her, just because this is the one that Hela just absolutely decimated in Ragnarok. And what even happened to it? I don't even remember where it happened, like on screen, or has it just been off screen this whole time?
So it happened where in Thor Ragnarok, when Odin's like, look at this, it's beautiful. That location, Hela catches it, it gets destroyed. Obviously, no one can pick it up. So that where it got destroyed is New Asgard, though. So the broken pieces were at New Asgard. So
okay. No, but it's so funny too. I knew Natalie Portman was going to be Jane Foster's Thor, but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, is that Kat Dennings? Her face just
really
looks like Kat Dennings. Oh, 100%. Like the first shot, she just had like the same face as her, but we're all caught up now. We're all good. We're catching up with the rest of the class. But yeah, no, she looks so awesome. I think she looks even better than what I was hoping. And like all I see is kind of like, the torso up, but the arms look great. The cape that I can see looks great. Her hair looks awesome. She looks like she's ready to kick ass. And I really hope there's like in Endgame when Captain Marvel showed up and had a chance to just like completely decimate like Thanos' ship and just like showcase her power. I hope there's a good montage moment with
I
Jane
definitely
Foster there.
think that's going to happen. She's going to come down and just completely crush the situation.
Oh yeah. If it doesn't happen, I'll be looking for you.
Who are you looking for?
The person that just promised me, Jessica.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think I promised. I think I said for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not a
Not my
promise.
headcanon.
Taylor Field, what about you?
Oh, I mean, I think she looks absolutely fantastic in this scene. I really, really do. And I was pleasantly surprised that we would get it in the trailer. I was, again, so bewildered by just this journey with Thor. It completely just went over my head. Like, we'll get, she's called Mighty Thor or Lady Thor?
Mighty Thor.
Mighty Thor, yeah. I was completely just not expecting it. And then when I saw the hammer just being broken apart from the Ragnarok's beginning, I thought, wow, that's really cool. And I'm really curious to see how that's going to unfold. But yeah, she just looks like she's cracking peanuts in those biceps and everything. So
Wow, cracking peanuts. So that was all great and all, but I did ask a specific question. Kirkland
I know, I
forgot
forgot.
it. Yeah, I thought you might.
What was the question?
I asked, do you think that he will know it's Jane right away or not?
I did answer that.
I'm saying to
no,
Taylor
probably
now.
not.
Taylor
Oh, you
forgot
fucking-
too.
Okay.
If
He just forgot again. He just forgot again. Oh my god.
Technical difficulty.
Can you
This
repeat
is
the
a mess.
question?
The listeners right now are
Holy God, what are you showing me? Come on.
I said when he sees Mighty Thor
Yeah.
for the first time, will he
Yeah.
know that it's Jane Foster, or will it take a little bit to figure that out in the film?
He's gonna say what Penguin said right there. Oh, come on! What are you showing me?
I think it'll take probably about maybe 47 seconds before it's revealed.
Okay, I feel like that's a yes. I feel like that's like
Damn.
I said the first time. Like
First time, no. He's gonna be like, first impressions, no. He's be like, who are you?
Holy.
And
fuck.
then she'll take the helmet off and be like, oh, it's my old flame. Something like that.
They'll just fuck on screen right there.
Yeah.
7-minute scene.
vigorous. But no, I think that I think they might do one battle scene where he doesn't get to see her up close, and I think they will, because that's what happened in the comic books where Thor had to like become a detective and like hunt down who he thinks this person could be, and then obviously came Jane Foster, and there's a lot of other twists and turns that happen. So I think they might play that up for a little bit, but not too long. All depends on the runtime of this movie. If this movie is like 2 hours like Strange's, then I don't think so. But if it's like 2.5 like Spider-Man, then they got lots of time. So I can't remember. I think Ragnarok was just a little over 2 hours, and I feel like this is going to be kind of that length. So I feel like they'll play it up for a little bit that he doesn't know, and then maybe he'll figure it out and he'll go visit her. Yeah, So yeah, and that's everything, right? There's nothing else after that. Just gives the release date. And are you going back to show us something, Kirkland?
I just want to check something out.
His rocker style, like his t-shirt he's wearing, I really like it because it's when the was it bifold or bifrost? His like
Bifrost.
transportation bifrost. It like hits the ground, has that symbol. That's what's replicated on his t-shirt. It looks really
Yeah.
cool.
It's very Little Trouble in China-ish. So
Look at that! Look at that little wound there. I'm just getting
Aren't those his
excited
nose?
That's his
I don't think
nose.
so.
This is nostrils.
Is it?
That's his. Yeah.
Okay.
There's blood coming out of it. It's his nose.
He looks like a naked mole rat. I didn't even notice those eyes here. I thought he was just some
Do you see the mouth,
eyeless
Kirkland?
beast.
Do you see how big that mouth is?
These are his teeth, right?
No, do you see the mouth there?
Oh, right here.
Yeah. I know.
So
It's
that's
hard because
gorgeous.
when you look at
You
pictures
really didn't
of,
see that?
when you look at
course I
pictures of your mouth, you don't really see your mouth. You know, it's just
My
like a
mouth's very
slit.
small.
Yeah, but well,
Yeah. Okay.
there you go. Any final thoughts on the teaser trailer? Obviously, so we got this. I imagine this will be attached to Strange. We got just under 3 months now until the movie comes out, so we'll probably get one more trailer. I imagine that will be the big villain showcase and whatnot. But any thoughts on this news?
Has that been a
Anything?
normal thing to just have one teaser and then a full trailer?
It has
before a
been
movie?
lately. So like
Okay.
before, Marvel back in the day used to do a teaser and then 2 to 3 trailers. Sometimes 3 trailers was like the norm, like way back in the day. But No Way Home, I can't remember what the other ones did. I won't count like Black Widow because obviously the pandemic that like delayed it. But you had Spider-Man had technically only had a teaser and a trailer. That was it. Doctor Strange has technically only had a teaser and a trailer. Now there's TV spots and there's like behind the scenes featurettes. But as far as the trailers, that's been their new thing, is a teaser and then a trailer. And I also think because like, oh right, I forgot about that too. Avatar trailer is expected to play in front of or Doctor Strange. Thank you, S-Bub. So I'm not sure if I imagine they'll drop that online before, but I think the thing is for me, why I do think it's an underwhelming teaser. I think they could have done a lot better, but because the way the teaser is and the way they're just showing one teaser and a trailer, I think Marvel's in that mode where they just don't give a fuck because like. You going back to this shot with Thor staring
Your
at
train of thought. I didn't mean to. Sorry.
I think Marvel's in a they don't give a fuck mode because they're like the kings. Like they can't really do anything wrong. You look at the top 10 of the like I'll have to find, but the top 10 of the box office since the pandemic started, mostly Marvel movies. Now, yes, there's 2 of them that are Sony Marvel movies, but still it's Marvel nonetheless. But I don't think they need to release too many trailers and teasers now. Yeah, so the top 10 of since the pandemic has started. Oh, fuck you, Twitter. I hate, like, Twitter's such a pain in the ass. Like, I did not mean to scroll up like that. Hang on 1 second. That was the other thing, too, that it had, like, I think it's the 6th most watched trailer. It did, like, 235 million views in
This one?
24 hours. Yeah, in 24 hours. Just 24 hours. Yeah, the record is like 355 or something though with Spider-Man No Way Home that beat Endgame. Endgame was 289, but
The last trailer, right?
for which one?
No Way Home, like the final one.
Yeah, with the reveals and everything like that. Oh my god, where can I find this? Kill time. Talk about something. I just had.
You can find us at GeekVerse.ca.
Oh god, that's not the way to kill time.
And I mean, I don't know what else to talk about.
Snoop
other
Dogg
than-
is dropping in Call of Duty
It's not
Warzone.
side
literally
quest.
dropping.
Literally
It's not psych.
dropping.
You're not allowed
in.
to talk about video games here.
No, you can't.
You
Apparently not.
Get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here. I kicked him, and we lost Jessica. Dude, we're just dropping like flies. He added himself.
You better. No, actually, I didn't. My hands. That was Taylor. You better rearrange me here. You're a podcaster. You're
works.
supposed to fill dead air. You know,
That's
you're supposed to
literally
fill
what
dead
I'm
air.
doing right now. I'm really excited to see Gore's weapon. That's kind of why I was investigating that dead creature, that dead god, because I was
I want
hoping
to see
for.
the penetrated spots. Of
Man, because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he uses the exact same sword that
there you go,
Noel
Kirkland.
uses before he turns into all black.
Tell that to the
no, it was
listeners
the
right there.
first NWH teaser. S Bubs commenting, no, it was the first No Way Home teaser. So there you go.
Interesting.
He
There you go.
countered
Okay,
Travis there, but
So
I can't talk. What's going on?
Go ahead, finish your point, and then I'll bring up my point here.
Well, I mean, are
what
we
weapon does
seeing-
Gore use?
He uses Null's sword, or like he gets it
Close.
before Null gets it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's
sure it's the exact same sword, and then he just turns it into Everblack, which I'm hoping that's what it's called, or All Black or something like that. The God of the Symbiote's his sword, and it's such a fucking cool weapon, and I really hope it's the same one that Gore uses. I'm just willing into the existence that we eventually get that into live action. Travis assured me someday we will get him in there. He's just such
Null?
a big character. Yeah.
I think so. I don't think Venom 3, but I think it's possible. You know.
I hope it's not even attached to Venom. I hope it's a Marvel
Yeah, unfortunately, that's
tie-in.
where you're gonna get it though. That's where you're gonna get Null is in
It'll be
Venom.
in the
So
fucking Morbius sequel at this point.
you want to team up? Sounds interesting.
There
So,
we
anyways,
go. Thank you, S Bubs.
all black.
Always got the
Necrosword.
facts.
Yeah. So right now, and I guess I was wrong. I thought they still had 50%, but guess what? After Doctor Strange, they will have 50%. So since the pandemic has started, this is in descending to ascending order. So Dune, Eternals, Sing 2, good for Sing 2, Shang-Chi, Godzilla, Venom, F9, The Batman, No Time to Die, and Spider-Man No Way Home. So right now, No Time to Die, second biggest movie of all, like the pandemic, being The Batman. What are you laughing about, sir?
Just S Bubs comment. Venom 4 into the Venom first movie to sell $1 trillion.
You haven't seen that meme before? The people are doing that with
Literally
Morbius?
not. No, literally
There's two
not,
memes that were really popular with Morbius of like first movie to sell 1 trillion tickets, and then it's like look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's like 132% positive, and then like audience score like 460, like it's just like outsane numbers.
Okay, yes, I did see
Yeah.
that. I didn't see the trillion tickets number, but
So obviously we're gonna do this predictions like when we get to the predictions cast. But what do you think long range right now? So the lowest of the top 10 is 400 million of Doom, and then the highest is 1.8 billion with Spider-Man No Way Home. Where do you think this is gonna go? In my opinion, right now, I'm looking at The fifth spot, that's Venom with 502, and then the next one is a huge jump from F9 to is 726. My prediction right now is 650 I think it's gonna be Venom. I think this is a lot more hype. I think people are back. This could go up when we see what Strange actually does, but I think this will beat Venom. I really do.
Venom 2, you're saying? Because Venom 1 was a
$2
billion movie, right?
No, it was 800. But we're just talking pandemic movies since the pandemic started.
Oh, okay, right. Fuck, my heart hopes it beats Venom 2.
Yes.
What was the one above that? That was the big jump to F9.
So the jump after that is 220 million.
That is a big jump.
Yeah. That's why I think it's going to go in the middle.
I'll go 700 million, just a little bit more than you, but still below that F9. Because that is a big jump. That's tough to reach that.
Yeah, F9 big franchise. What about you, Taylor? Where do you think Thor is going to... We're going to do this again once we get ticket sales and, stuff like that. But
He's
what do you
crunching
think...
numbers right now. Look at him.
Yeah. What do you think right now from... Like, number 6 for most watched trailer in 24 hours. Lots of hype right now. Thor's back. Guardians, Natalie Portman. What are you thinking right now? You think it's going to be Venom 2?
It's definitely going to be Venom 2.
Okay, so what about F9 at 726? That's the top 4 then. F9's big franchise.
It is. I'm just looking at are we talking specifically domestic? Or
this is global. This is everywhere. These numbers.
Yeah, I mean Ragnarok did 850 million.
Yeah, it did.
So again,
but
that was
still
pre-COVID.
pandemic. Yeah, you got to take it down. But still, and that was the biggest story. And this is the thing again. Before Taylor goes, with people again complain, and I understand. I've been there before. Hunka, right? If you don't like the store, I get it. It sucks. But at the same point, they did the store. Tons of people love this movie, and you look at that number Taylor just shouted out. It was the biggest Thor by a landslide. So people like this version of Thor, whether you do or not. They do. So I don't think it's gonna be hitting those 800 numbers, but that was the last movie, like Taylor said, in those 800, which is massive amounts of money. Right now that would be the second biggest movie of the pandemic era if it hit that number.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like this Thor is hitting so well with the general audience members and people that aren't seeing every Marvel movie. I feel like, the moms are just loving Chris Hemsworth in all shapes
100%.
and forms. And then just his comedy is really hitting for the casuals. And I mean that in the best sense of the word. But yeah, no, I truly think it is going to do very, very well. I still think it'll be below Doctor Strange just because this is so much build up and so many people crossing over into the multiverses and stuff like that. But yeah, I really hope it beats Venom 2. That movie kind of hurts me in my good spots.
Yeah, well, talk about your good spots. You want to be using Manscaped right now. You know why? Because if you're not using Manscaped, your partner, your lady, your gentleman, whoever you're with, you know what they're going to be saying?
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
It was around his head, and you know what Jim Gorman was talking about? His big old bush, and that's why you want to be using Manscaped right now. You got to use that pod code GVPOD, get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Wow, look at this picture. Kirklin gets used, Taylor gets used. So I'm going to throw you two first. Taylor. Oh, now it's me. And now he threw to himself. That time. Taylor, why should people be using this? You got so much product right now. You got the 4-point trimmer. You got the weed whacker. You got the plow, which is my personal favorite. And then you got the newly minted premium collection right now. The chapstick, the deodorant, the body wash, the hairspray, the shampoo, conditioner, everything. Or sorry, the body spray. I didn't say the hairspray. But you know what? I know at some point Manscaped's going to probably add that too. They'll probably add one for your head. They're probably going to have a fucking... bush spray, which they do. They got your favorite, Taylor.
Yeah, I love using the lip chap. I love using the shampoo.
That's not. I was staring to you like the Reviver and stuff. So you made it sound like you just use the lip chat on your dick, but that's fine.
That works too.
Gives me a sting.
Yeah.
Shave. Yeah.
But why? Again, summer's coming up. People need to be fresh. Why should they be getting in this product?
But I love using the underarm deodorant. I honestly can't get enough of it. It's not overbearing. It's not super just.
It's like a big
thick
lip balm too. The
yeah,
shape
exactly.
of it.
I really like it. But I was trying to get into it eagerly earlier, and I actually sliced my finger open trying to get into the.
That's how excited
thing.
he was.
I was super excited.
He's like Gollum, just trying to get his Manscaped.
I couldn't get it up. I mean the deodorant stick. I was like, come on.
Yeah. Okay.
And first of all, don't do the hand motion. And Taylor, second of all, the good thing with that, you're talking about those nicks, the 4.0, you're not going to get those nicks, you know?
Exactly.
Hell no.
Mm-hmm. Kirk and Patzer, summer's coming up. You want to be clean, want to be fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as Taylor mentioned it, I literally never leave home without that Manscaped lip balm. It's so nice. It fits in my little chapstick holder in my jeans. You know, the pocket. Threw me off just seeing Emily.
She endorses. She's a big fan of the Manscaped, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
But no, Lawnmower 4.0, you know, no nicks, as Travis mentioned, just nice clean trim. And if you haven't experienced a razor like that with the LED light, like you're missing out. You think
Yes,
you
the
think it's
light
a
is
gimmick,
game
you think you
changer.
don't need the light, but man, I've seen things on the undercarriage of my body I never thought I would see, and it's good because I can get in there and shave it. So very, very handy. All the smells are wonderful. I love the body wash for the smells. And honestly, I keep praising like the containers that they use, but it's such high quality like containers. I got to keep shouting it out. They're like stainless steel. They're rugged. They feel like Stark Tech. They're awesome. They're gonna be awesome to handle, awesome to use, and yeah, go check out that GV promo code for all the great products. I still haven't gotten the plow. I think I will purchase it. You keep
You
praising
gotta,
it.
yeah. You gotta.
Yeah, I want to get a nice manual razor. So there you go.
Especially because soon I'm gonna be chopping this hair, and I think I'll be having a few like down to like buzzing or actual buzz cuts there, but like some ones and stuff like that. So that plow, I'm gonna need that for some like nice
For the
neck
neck,
grooving and whatnot.
yeah.
And it's great. It's a great razor. Like I said, I love the weight of it. And yeah, even though it's sunny right now, and you're like, oh, what, that light would help me. No, you're gonna need it for the crevices you didn't even know you had, like Kirklin was talking about. And
Exactly.
that's what you don't like. How embarrassing is you're gonna go get laid. Someone's gonna have a good time, and what do you got? Just this one little patch just to the right that you've missed. You're not gonna miss a patch for this light. So that's why. Go to manscaped.com right now for the best below grooming or best below the waist in men's grooming. GVPOD, get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. We are going to take an ad break, and then we're going to be back with some more news. And we're back. Jessica's
Totally
back.
thought you were gonna pull up the penguin for the.
No.
Yeah, they'll be looking for this crevice. They'll be like, "What the hell is this? Come on, what are you
I can't use it.
showing me?"
I can't use it 2 times in an ad break because, and I'm sure when I send this to the Manscaped people, they're either gonna love that or hate that. So I can't wait to see. But
They
you
haven't
know
seen Batman. They're like, "What the fuck is this?"
yeah, but you know what? I can't remember what is it. Well, I think we're partnered with them now till June. So we've been partnered with them 3 times over now. So they like what we're doing.
Awesome.
We like what they're doing. But you know who might not like what people are doing is Discovery. So Discovery has officially bought Warner Brothers. Nothing is going wrong in the 11 days they've owed them. It's not like 2 of their stars in a trial. It's not like Fantastic Beasts is flopping. It's not like one of their stars keeps getting arrested in Hawaii. That's only in 11 days in owning this new company. But you know what? Discovery, good for you. Yeah, best year yet for Warner Discovery. But obviously this came out, I think it was the Friday, a report. So there's a few things to go here. But Discovery has got them. The purchase happened, all these billions of dollars. And there's rumors of a DC overhaul. Now, the words complete overhaul were not used or anything like that. But Kirkland, I'm going to start with you, and then I'll throw out some of their specific points from this article. What do you think when you hear someone wants to do an overhaul of DC? Do you jump to, yeah, okay, we just put out the Batman, as we just talked about, third biggest movie of the pandemic, it's a big movie, so I don't think they're going to be, let's scrap all that, redo it. But
No,
you know, what do you think about when you hear the words
Yeah.
overhaul? Because obviously,
Yeah.
for people that don't know, it's a new company that owns Warner Brothers now, so they're
I feel initially my mind went to something like a rework or reorganization of where they want to go, but I think when you actually focus on the like overhaul word, it's not redoing anything like that. It's not retconning that stuff. It's just I feel like bringing like new creative leads in those projects, and maybe just a lot more support in the creative department of like what they want to do. Maybe the scale will be, I don't know, like turned up, and I'm not saying they're gonna just keep doing like Justice League type things, but I think overhauling like their specific entities, whether that's, let's just take the Flash for example, like terrible example at this point in time.
Really?
But,
Yeah, that's a good one to start. A
I'll
very
pull
simple
Batman
one.
as an example, like just someone. Green Lantern, that's a fun one because he hasn't been in anything really lately, and I think just focusing more people on a specific project as opposed to just banging them out to get to a point that you're doing a collab, or maybe just banging them out to get to the point that you have like an established universe. I think overhaul for me personally takes that they're just going to be focusing like fleshing out the roots of their products, which are these heroes. I'm all over the place with my analogies here. If you're following it, great. If you're not, that's okay. But I feel like just really, I don't know, setting a foundation for individual characters to build this whole universe on, because that really is like what the universe is. Like the MCU, it started with Iron Man, the Hulk, and then eventually like the rest of the Avengers, and then that's what built you this monument, what that is the MCU nowadays, that it feels like it's just kind of free flowing. But it's because of those set characters, and I feel like for me personally, the DC characters, there's been some great ones. You know, I love me some Cavill, and I love me some Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I love me Aquaman, but I feel like they just don't spend enough time really fleshing those characters out enough. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but that's at least my initial thoughts on the Overhaul. I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong for what Discovery, what are they even called now? Warner Brothers Discovery?
Warner Brothers Discovery.
Terrible name, but
Yeah, it's not great. WBC.
WBD?
No,
Discovery?
WBD, yeah.
WBD. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound good either.
No,
Mine
drop
goes
the
backdoor.
WBD.
But
Yeah. Make sure you use Manscaped when you're using the WBD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I didn't have the penguin ready to go. I gotta get one quicker for that.
Yeah.
So
So
pass it along.
yeah, I want to ask Jessica because we haven't talked about this in a while. One, you had said this. I wasn't sure if you had actually seen it. One, what did you think of the Batman? Because I don't actually know what you thought about the Batman.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was good, but I
Get her
don't think
outta
I
here.
enjoyed it as much as Travis would have.
Holy God, what are you showing me? Come on!
I saw
I
your hand
think-
just like slightly go over the mouse.
Oh, that's fair. No, I was just still wondering if you liked it, but you know, everyone here loved it, so don't feel pressured or anything like that. You know.
I did like it. I think it's one of the better Batman movies
Mhm.
that I've seen, but I don't think that I liked it as much as everyone else did.
So, but in that way, did you want to see more when it ended? Like, would you be like, okay, I never got to see Robert Pattinson Batman again, or if they announced a 2, would you be excited for that?
Yeah, I'd go see it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd be
So-
interested in more of him as Batman. Where with Affleck, I really could care less.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, there you go. That's a pro. So, in your opinion, like right now, because I don't know if you know, so right now we have a few movies. We got Flash is coming up at some point. There's a new Flash movie. There's an Aquaman 2. There's a Shazam 2 that's coming out this year. And there's a Black Adam. I don't know if you know who Black Adam is, but that's the one with The Rock. So, The Rock, it's his vehicle. You know, he's doing his first superhero gig. Where is your just like level of interest in general in DC, and what would you want to see them doing like going forward? Because they kind of have two camps right now where they are doing still these connective movies of like, okay, they have the DC and Suicide Squad, and they have Harley Quinn and Batman, Aquaman. Like, there's this world still that's going on, but then you have stuff like the Joker or the Batman that's happening. And in this report that they said, these are all just insiders talking to other people, but one of the things they said is like this company really liked what they did with Joker as far as taking a, they called it B-level character and spinning it into a movie. I think that is like a bad example because I don't think the Joker is a B-level character, but I think they're trying to say like not the main character of the story, a side one. So like, what is your interest, or like, what do you want to see from them in the future if they're doing some sort of overhaul?
I
Oh yeah,
do
and I
have
forgot about
interest-
Super Pets. Sorry, Jessica. Biggest movie of the year coming up. DC Super Pets
Got me
coming.
my point for
That-
Keanu.
Yeah.
That one's my top. I'm most
Yeah.
excited about that one. I have varied levels of excitement. Like I really like Shazam, so I'm excited for that. Aquaman 2, I know has some controversy around it, and I could go one way or another. I wasn't amazingly into Aquaman, but for me, I've always had a problem, and I've been vocal about this, that the Avengers, not the Avengers,
Justice League.
Justice
there
League.
you go, right there.
Yeah,
Freudian
that
slip.
they didn't do any type of kind of background building up to it, that it was just right there.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering if now, because they've lost so many people, if maybe this, and losing Flash now, maybe it will come back to a remake of that at some point after we've built some more worlds, which I think would be interesting to see how that plays out. Because, are they going to just paste over Ezra Miller and just have a new Flash completely and just pretend that it's the same person? Or because every time we redo a Batman, it's just like, okay, we'll scrap that last one. This is
Yeah.
completely different. That being said, I mean, I don't know, DC, it just feels so incoherent, inconsistent. Like the world is just not got the same flow, in my opinion, that we seem to get with Marvel.
But they still end up making money somehow. Like Aquaman again, still the weirdest sentence. Biggest DC movie of all time. It's like $1 billion plus. You had Joker, which was Radar, first ever $1 billion movie. Batman's third biggest thing. So it's like it can be messy, but like they're still like churning out money and stuff like, which is good because these people like the characters and stuff like that. It's just so. In your opinion, though, Jessica, like what do you do for? Like they want to move forward, they want to do new stuff, but where like they're kind of in a difficult position where it's like, okay, yeah, you could reboot everything, but why? Like you wouldn't want to do that when you got Momoa. Whoever likes Momoa, right? That first film, yeah, was a huge hit. That's their biggest film, so it's like that's where it's tough. Where it's like it'd be almost easy if all these films were unsuccessful because you just go, oh, okay, scrap it, get rid of all. But what do you do when it's kind of a mixture of like, okay, some aren't performing that well, but then you have like everyone that loves Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, like you can't get rid of her. Ezra will leave to the side because that's like a whole different type of like getting rid of. But what do you do when you kind of have a mixture of like big hits to like middling, hits or failures, whatever you want to call it?
Well, I mean, is there any reason from stopping just the Justice League from being cut out and having, Aquaman's now getting their backstory? We have Wonder Woman's getting backstory and, just remaking a Justice League when we have a new Flash and new Batman, have Robert Pattinson in it.
I think they still want to. Before I throw it to Kirk, I think they would want to do Justice League probably with still a few of the members. Unfortunately, now I think it's just Momoa and Gal Gadot because now they're all kind of gone. But
yeah, so that's what I mean. So is there anything stopping them from just moving forward with a completely like keep those two that are successful and have their movies built? Like we didn't get a movie for Cyborg.
No, and we're not going to. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, scrap him right away. We don't have a solid Flash movie yet, so that, throw that in the trash too and just move forward. And eventually, once you've got these other introductory movies, do a new Justice League and still keep Momoa and Gal, right?
Yeah, that's where my headspace is at. Kirklin Pat's or
where's
GeekVerse
the whole?
podcast.
What's the situation with this Flash? Isn't this Flash movie supposed to be like changing a bunch of timeline things, making things canon, making things not canon?
Yeah, so like, I think Jessica, you know this a little bit, but yeah, so they're bringing back Michael Keaton's Batman. What they're gonna do is like, I think you remember Days of Future Past, right? Where it ends with like there's time travel and then obviously there's people dead, but when Logan and them all save it, he goes back to his world and everything's like fixed and people are alive that were dead and yeah, like that type of stuff. It sounds like that's what they're gonna do because people might get mad, but like they're kind of replacing Ben Affleck's Batman with Michael Keaton's. Like they're gonna say for some reason like they've swapped. We don't know why. We don't know why.
Back.
We don't know why. But Michael Keaton is gonna be the Batman in this universe. I did forget to tell you they are making a Batgirl movie. I think you've heard about that. But Michael Keaton's in that as like her mentor. Oh, there you have that first set image of Michael Keaton on the set. But
GV exclusive as well.
But yeah, we got that first Taylor big time scooper for us. He beat S Bubs, but no. So yeah, like the Flash movie is supposed to be a kind of a reboot. It just sucks that like the main guy for the reboot is like causing like a lot of problems.
It's so funny too.
But like technically, you could just do that, and you don't ever have to see the Flash again. Like if they don't, let's say they don't recast or they don't deep fake whatever. They just go, okay, we're just gonna put it out, get it done with. You can have him reset the universe, and you never see him again. Really, it'll be like awkward for the promotion of it, like that part's gonna be a little meh, but Warner Brothers does it all the time now apparently, so
well, I mean, if we're getting a new Batman, the next movie could just have a new Flash and all of a sudden, oh, this is now the Flash in this universe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I love just going down the rabbit hole, my tinfoil hat theories on like the true reason why this movie got delayed. Just with all this Ezra stuff coming out, it's like, oh, what
that first arrest
that
happened
potentially be going on,
Well, that first arrest that happened in Hawaii was before they delayed all the movies, so I don't think that was the sole reason, but that had a lot to do with it. And yeah, for people that if you don't, Flash takes Hawaii, S-Bubs, you're going to hell. But for people that don't know, it was alleged today he was arrested for like another just like physical disturbance, stuff like that. Apparently,
like one is enough in a lifetime. Come on, Ezra. Like it's been a couple weeks. Come on.
And then apparently this is all alleged. This is not GeekVerse saying. This is what the reports have put out, that he threw a chair and it struck a 26-year-old and cut her head and stuff like that. So we don't know what's happening. It's just, as I've said before, it's this on the vodka stream. And I've said this before. One, if these things are true, the guy needs to get help. One, he needs to get the fuck off Hawaii because whatever's happening there is not going good for Ezra Miller.
Something in the water.
There's something in the water there.
Crazy.
And like I said, I hope that he's not just a dick and he's probably having. Like to me now, there is always that case like, is there an asshole or is there a problem? Whether it's a mental problem or a drug problem, there's definitely something going on there. So I hope he does get some help if there is something. But I think that. Like, they just need to be careful because I've said this. I think it may have said this on GeekVerse, but if I didn't, I said on Vodka Stream a few weeks ago that they just got to be careful because, like, if something goes wrong and this dude, like, fucking accidentally kills someone before this movie comes out, you're just so fucked.
Would they just not release the movie? Like,
no, they would
or
reshoot
deepfake
it. But the problem is now they're at the point where the movie's done. It's not like Solo where they stopped midway through, which was super expensive. If they were to do this, this would be so expensive. This would be so expensive to reshoot everything, whatever you do. So that's why it's like, I know why they want to do it, but it's like almost, it would have been better if like they should have just put it out sooner and got it over with and then move on. But now it's not coming out till June. So the hope is there's two routes. Either you have so much time, you have over a year that you can make the road better and he gets better and there's apology tours, or the road gets a lot worse and like, I don't know what you do, you know? But again, today it's just like this happens. Just like, I can't believe it happened again, you know? Like there's like so many instances and I don't know what you do that. So I guarantee that's definitely talked about in this overhaul in a sense of like, hey, what are we fucking doing about Ezra Miller, you know? I would hope so. If you don't as a company, then I don't know. Like if you guys were throwing chairs at people, I guarantee you we would be having a meeting talking about, hey, you know, Taylor's got to go because he can't keep throwing chairs at people.
Every week, another chair, another people.
Yeah. Kirklin, do you have more to add? I was going to throw it Taylor, but
I feel like I was kind of jumping in here and there. I kind of.
Okay, how about this? Because Taylor's going. So this was another thing in the report that one of the things they cited as well that they feel that Superman has been on the back burner and underutilized. Yeah. So what do you feel about that? And also the same thing. What do you feel about them in this report supposedly saying that they want to use more B characters like a Joker to do their own film, something like that? And to me, like a Joker would assume, I'd say like a smaller budget, stuff like that. But those were two things specifically shouted out in this article that they're kind of looking like, you know, Superman, bringing that guy back up. It wasn't talked about if it was Cavill or not, and then maybe making some more B tier character movies. My mind's having a hard time wrapping around a B tier character. Like you mentioned, like Joker, that's not really a B tier character. I agree, but I think they mean like, okay, you have your main characters. So like, if instead of Superman, we'll make a Lex Luthor movie. I think B tier was just someone turn of phrase, but yeah, Joker's not a B tier character, but I think supporting character, maybe say that a supporting character and a main character.
I mean, I'm fucking pumped for this Colin Farrell Penguin show. So
yes, that's
like
gonna be,
absolutely, I am all down for it.
This all day.
What are you showing me? Hey, come on!
Yeah,
what are you showing me here? Like, I can't tell that's Colin Farrell. That's like, come on, give him the Oscar for best makeup. But yeah, the Superman thing is such a strange thing to me because this is just, I feel like it's so fucking easy for them to just take this character who Henry Cavill has stated he's down to just keep doing Superman and like he's not throwing chairs at people. Like everybody in the fucking world loves this guy. So like I feel like that's such a money making thing right there. But they're like, yeah, it's too easy. Let's get crazy. Let's do some Flash stuff. So absolutely, give me Superman. That's no. Is there? Yeah,
no brainer.
Pun? I was gonna say no pun intended, but that's an S tier pick. You know.
Oh, there you go.
It's not an S. It means hope.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, but anything. I mentioned Green Lantern again. I feel like he's extremely been underutilized. That's such a fan favorite character. I don't even like. I've never read a comic book like. That's a lie. I've read a comic book. I've never read a comic book revolving around.
I was gonna say we've
Green
done
Lantern.
Podcasts about comic books. You're just lying to our audience.
They're graphic novels.
Yeah. I never read that. I just lied on the cast.
Like, around that character, I've experienced him in the Justice League show, but I think there's just so much cool stuff around that character. Yeah, so like they got to bring in stuff like that, but even that, like that's not a B level character. So I'm all for it. Just give us more content, because I feel like if you're going the route of just putting out huge quantity of content, there's gonna be some gold in there, you know. Even if there's a lot of shit to the
Netflix approach.
Yeah. You got Daredevil, who's like, I mean, I haven't seen all of it, but Travis, you stay. That's probably one of your favorite shows in Marvel. Just probably comic books in general.
Comic books is Watchmen, Daredevil, Legion. Those are the three.
Yeah. So like, man, I'm hoping that's what this overhaul is kind of going. Like, we're just going to be pumping shit out left, right, and center.
Oh,
and
don't say it
someone's
like
gonna
that.
Why? Like, is there what they're doing now?
No, just the word pumping shit out just sounds not
Okay.
appealing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, tell you go because we're gonna throw to you. So obviously we jumped a little bit between topics, but we talked about DC Overhaul, some of this Joker B character stuff, Superman maybe being brought back up to the limelight. What are your feelings on all this? These reports that are coming out because they just purchased them last Tuesday or last Thursday or Tuesday, whatever. It was official last week, so they can do what they want in the future. Obviously, they have a whole slate of movies to come out, so you're probably not going to see a lot of these changes still for like a year and a half, 2 years, because they got to release all this stuff. They're not just going to bench it. But after that, it's like,
So-
okay, yeah, go ahead.
A quick question on top of that. So when these movies that are
He doesn't
already in
want
the
you to
works,
talk to.
when they come out, are they going to be Warner Brothers Discovery, like written on there?
Yeah, they could if they wanted to. Yeah,
Because it's their product.
it's
even
their
though
product now.
The
Yeah,
old guard is kind of.
they own it though, right? It's like they bought it. Like
Right.
I bought this Flash movie from you. Like that's.
I
What
didn't
it
pay
was.
for it, but I'm getting all the revenue.
Yeah. So, well, they did pay for it, many
Yeah, I
billions,
guess.
though, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't remember the sticker. It was tons of billions and whatnot. So, you gonna let Taylor talk now, Kirklin?
Yeah.
Okay.
You may speak.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just feel like they've gone through such a kerfuffle that rebooting movies seems to be the way to go for them. And I mean, if they're pushing it for all these characters to kind of have the spotlight, like Man of Steel, which I think is a good idea because I think he's like he's a franchise like spearheader, right? Man of Steel, like he's Superman. I mean, he's iconic, so why not? And them doing again, seeing like okay, Wonder Woman 3 I saw today, like them working on like
They're
the
talking about it, yeah.
storyline, talking about that, yeah. Which I guess okay, why not? Like Gal Gadot is a fantastic Wonder Woman, so I can definitely see the appeal there in doing that as opposed to a reboot. So
That's what I mean. You're talking about rebooting, but then you lose Momoa, you lose her. You know, like you lose those ones that are the stars that worked out, right?
yeah, and it's unfortunate because like,
And they're
again,
old.
like some of their movies are, I mean, well, not some. Like that first Wonder Woman, it was like fantastic. That 1st Aquaman, like I've only seen it the one time in theaters.
Oh,
I
big
haven't
mistake.
been eager to go see it again. Maybe if they did that trench movie, I'd be there, but it's another story. I do think though that there's just the idea of combining all these characters into one universe can be done, but I don't know. It's just. I just feel like DC's just all over the board right now and still kind of like a mess. I do feel like they really hit grounding strides with, Joker and especially with the Batman. I think that's huge and that's a step in the right direction. So when they say, I think in that report of that emergency meeting, like get back to their roots and do like
No,
movies
the emergency
focused on-
meeting was rumored to be about Ezra, not about this.
Oh, that was about. I thought there was a meeting that were talking
No.
about how we want to do new films and stuff. That
They
are
do,
focused
but
on these
that-
obscure characters.
No, no. That's just these
That's
reports.
business as usual.
Yeah,
That's the
that
reports.
that just sounds
Oh.
like them talking. The emergency. So apparently there was an emergency meeting about Ezra Miller, but then some people said that didn't happen. So that's very whatever. All these stories right now was from a report last week. Variety put out that it got bought, and lots of reporters talked to people like off the record. So these aren't like the people that are saying the Superman thing, the thing about Joker, the thing about the Overhaul. They didn't say, yeah, we're overhauling DC. It's just, hey, we've
Oh,
heard
it's all
people
off the record.
Yeah, it's all because you don't want to give that type of stuff out yet and everything.
So
So,
he said, she said kind of thing.
well, yeah, and that's saying all this could be bullshit because like the other thing was they said that they're looking for like a Feige type, but not necessarily a creative the way Feige's like, okay, this is the universe is planned out. They're looking for someone more on the business side, but either way, they're looking for someone to kind of spearhead and be the person that looks after DC. And I think that's good. I still want someone to have what my dream is that they get this business person and then they hire someone that's creative to help them out because I do eventually I want a DC Endgame. I want a point where we are like Infinity War where there's like 20, 30 characters that we all know and love and obviously all different degrees, but I do want them to get to that. But at the same time, they're doing something better than Marvel is where you have stuff like Joker and Batman. Right now, Marvel's not doing just one-offs. They're not just, okay, here's your random Captain America movie. It's rated R. You don't got to see anything else go. Like that's what I love about the Batman. You don't have to see a single movie at all. Read a comic and you just watch the Batman. Same thing with the Joker. I appreciate both. So I hope with this overhaul they don't change that. But I do want someone to like spearhead it a bit more. Superman is just like a no-brainer. Whether it's Cavill or not, it doesn't make sense that they've just been like, we haven't got a Superman movie in 10 years. That was Man of Steel. And yeah, sure, it was divisive, but like that's still one of your like biggest, like Thor had a movie, Dark World, that wasn't the greatest, but then guess what? They just put out another Thor movie and everyone forgot about Dark. It's like anytime Warner Brothers gets a bad movie, they get so gun shy and there's, oh, we can't do that again. Like a Superman movie, that's really risky. It's just like, even if like, again, like fucking Hugh Jackman went through a bunch of shitty X-Men movies, you know? And then what happened? He got on the other side, Days of Future Past, Logan, like that's what you can do with Cavill. Like no one's going to be like, and I'm not saying Man of Steel's a shitty one. I'm just saying that like, just put out another one with him. I think they're worried is like the old Warner Brothers like, well, it's his face, so people are going to associate him with that old regime of the movies they didn't like, the Snyderverse, if you did or didn't. But it's just like, just do it. Just and so what's the worst that happened? It doesn't like people don't like it again or something like that. Like I don't know. I just feel it's strange that Superman is not around. Like yes, they're bringing a Supergirl, but that's a good thing with that Flash movie being so far away. Lots of things can change. And with Joker, I don't know what they define as like a supporting B character, but I've said before, like Joker to me should have been the kickoff of, they should have been announcing like 5 to 10 movies. Like, oh, these are our movies that are like $60 to $40 million. They're very cheap, but they're about one character and they're not that risky. You know, like if you want to make a movie about, everyone always talks about Mr. Freeze, then do it. If you want to make a Poison Ivy movie, do it. If you want to make a Lex Luthor movie, do it. You know, like, Joker was cheap and it paid off, you know? So all the stuff sounds good to me for the most part, but again, it's DC and Warner Brothers, so I won't believe it till I see it. They're new management, so we'll have to see, but we've heard this before, right, of changes and stuff, but this is obviously someone else has bought them, so it's the same thing like we had last year with Xbox and Bethesda and Activision, right? Of like the whole, you know, what's going to stay exclusive, what's not, and only time will tell, and that's kind of the same thing here, so...
I hope it's noticeable, honestly. Like that first Warner Brothers Discovery product that comes out, like strictly from the new owners, the new regime. I hope it's a step in the right direction, obviously, but also just a nice noticeable change of like getting excited. I'm not saying they have to go the Marvel route of every end credit scene. You're just waiting to find out what the next thing is or where they're going to be appearing. But I think DC should be at that caliber, and then hopefully that's what the future holds, because there's a lot of great stuff in there. You know, I've been barely exposed just going through like the Batman CBVs that we did, but there's just in that alone, like the storytelling of that one character was just so fun, and I can only imagine what it is for something like Green Lantern or more. Keep going back to the Flash. I got Ezra in my mind, but
even
just,
then, like
all those characters.
I think another good call of them earlier this year was Peacemaker. That worked out really well for them. Like that
Good
was
example.
one thing. They did Suicide Squad, and they're like, hey, let's just spin off John Cena. We're gonna do it 8 episodes. Here we go. Very well received. Had a huge finale. Stuff like that. We did really good numbers. You wouldn't think that, like, no one knew who the fuck Peacemaker was 2 years ago. No one knew at all. But it's just like that's all that matters. Like, just make it go to the audience. But the thing is, when you're saying you can't wait to see like their official product, you won't see that till 2024, like the earliest, because Aquaman's next year, Flash is next year. No, it's 2 years still, you know.
Well, do you think it's going to be even farther than that, though? Because the new company is going to want to kind of halt and figure out what their direction is?
The good thing is, next year is all movies that have already been made. So I think a year plus this month is enough time for them, I would hope, because we're in April. So we got May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So they got a year and 8 months. If you can't figure it out by then, I don't know what you're spending all this money for. You
They're
know, like
selling again.
yeah, like this is a mistake. Have you seen these first 11 days?
I'll never financially recover from this.
Yeah.
The Joe Exotic meme. That's probably what they're saying with this fucking Ezra thing. If they have to redo the Flash movie, holy shit.
Oh my god. Anything else on this? Going once, going twice. So, all right, we're going to take our last ad break, and then we'll be right back talking about some new horror movies coming up, some hidden Taylor's sweet spot. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So, Taylor, I'm going to lead this off with you because obviously it's a big thing. Lionsgate has put out a report that they are doing 2 new films for Blair Witch and Leprechaun. So I know which one excites you most, but how are you feeling about this right now? I don't think much is known as far as if they're a reboot or a continuation or a sequel. I think that's all still kind of up in the air, but they are making these films. So how do you feel about that?
I'm ecstatic again. Like we always talk about that original Leprechaun, just how it
Always. Is
kickstarted
Jennifer Aniston in the
launched her
Kickstarted
career.
her-
Nope. Stop.
Oh, fuck
Stop.
off.
Stop.
Oh, it was Friends.
It did not launch her career. Yeah, the show that's better than Seinfeld, Friends. That launched her career. You can go back to always makes this joke, but Friends or Leprechaun is the thing that she said she almost quit acting for after she did Leprechaun. She considered
Made her
quitting
career. According to Taylor
yeah,
Field.
yeah. She considered quitting acting until she got Friends. So yes.
I am very excited. You can check out our one Leprechaun movie review that I did on the GeekVerse feed somewhere. It's there.
that solo?
Yeah, it was like their comeback, like a direct to sequel of the first Leprechaun movie.
But you solo reviewed it?
A direct
I'll check
was
that
that the
out.
one with Warwick Davis?
No, they didn't have Warwick Davis in this one. This was
Was-
like
Was this the one WWE produced?
maybe it came out like 2018 or 2017, but yeah, it was like
I think it
straight
is,
to DVD or straight to digital release, and yeah, it's like a direct sequel to the original Leprechaun. Yeah, we have that review, so go check it out. The other Leprechaun movies though, they get wacky. It's just fun. Like I don't know, Warwick Davis as Leprechaun was just absolute peak cinema. It was just so amazing.
Peak.
Just, it was peak. I felt like
Peak
he
cinema.
lived and breathed playing that role. It was just so obnoxious, and the things that were going were so wacky. It was just fantastic.
So what would you want them to do with this one?
I would want them to, again, as it comes to storyline, like you got to throw that out the window with these kind of movies. I just want
Okay,
to.
here's a question for you, because they did like you got Leprechaun in the hood, in the hood, and then you have Leprechaun in space, and then you have Leprechaun back to the hood. Do you want them to take a
Love it.
more serious route again, or would you want them to lean into the schlocky, like tongue-in-cheek Leprechaun movies?
I would want them to kind of adhere to the tongue-in-cheek, like stick to some of that like backstory lore that's like cliche with leprechauns, you know. The first movie did a good job at going that route with, you know, the pot of gold. You gotta get the 4-leaf clover because that's what will kill him and stuff like that. It's just
Okay.
really obnoxious kind of things. What's your question? Show
So
your
no,
true quality.
no, you finish. I'm just showing that I want to go next because my point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, you got to keep it basic. Like, there's only so much you can do with Leprechaun. There is one Leprechaun movie that was I haven't seen it yet because I'm just waiting for the right moment. But it's not like the Warwick Davis ones. But it's like these people are out camping and there's like the outside of this village. It's like a dark horror movie vibe where these leprechauns are
Blair
like
Witch Leprechaun crossover.
something like that. Yeah, it's just they're like these goblin like things. It's truly terrifying. And
Do you
it's
know?
very
Is it called
graphic.
Trolls?
No, I think it's just called Leprechauns, I believe.
Leprechauns. Okay.
Yeah, and that's one I haven't seen. It's definitely on my list to watch eventually. But no, I think it doesn't have to be anything fancy or anything crazy. But just something, or Leprechaun Origins. That's the one, Leprechaun Origins.
Wait, is that the
Fuck,
one you
Wolverine
reviewed or the one
Origins,
you were
all these
talking
origin
about?
movies.
The one I'm talking about is Leprechaun Origins is the one with like the creatures leprechauns. Leprechaun Returns is 2018. That's the one I reviewed.
Okay.
So yeah, these
So-
started coming out in '93.
So wait a second. This Leprechaun Origins, is that the same? Like, is that belong in the same continuity as the Warwick Davis ones?
I don't think so. I really don't know. Oh, and this one is the one done by WWE. Interesting. Yeah, it's a little more traditional horror than the Warwick Davis one. So this one isn't with Warwick Davis. This is a young couple attempting to escape from a figure who eventually catches and drags them to their deaths.
So Leprechaun Origins, Kate, that is more serious, but that is still a reboot of the Leprechaun franchise.
It's an attempted reboot. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
attempted reboot. Yeah, and then Return of Leprechaun. is
Returns was like a direct continuation that they did afterwards.
without Warwick.
Without Warwick, yeah. So they've got like a whole like stock of these. Fuck,
Oh,
we
yeah.
gotta do a retro. You can get the 10-pack at fucking Walmart. I've seen it there.
Oh man, hear that, fans? You let us know.
Just a full bin. Not
Yeah.
a single copy has been pulled.
So what I just wanted to say there, that I have literally no excitement for this other than like Taylor's excited, so that's great. And I would not actually be opposed to being a retro because I don't know how well numbers they would do, but I just know it would be a hell of a good time. So that's one. I think they need to like, because you're like, oh, they could take it. You at first you said they could stick like cheesier, but then like, oh, you could take it back to like the scarier and the origins. But for me, when you're like, oh, they're trying to find like the 4-leaf clover that can kill him. Right there, that's where you go, no, this has to be cheesy. They have to get people that are like in on the joke, that are trying to make it bad for like good bad, like that sort of way, kind of very campy and stuff like that. Taylor gets to go first because he has his hand up, but that's where I think that you got to go intentionally bad. It's almost like a Wet Hot American Summer in a way. Like that's what you got to do with a Leprechaun series. I don't know who you cast. Like I don't know who you cast. We'll just get somebody, but
Jennifer Aniston.
as the Leprechaun.
I don't know, just in the movie in general.
But yeah, I so here's the thing. I think that's the route you go.
Leprechaun. Yeah, fuck. That's her final project. Then she retires.
I started my career here. I'm ending my career here. But here's the thing, and we'll talk about Blair Witch after this. I just feel like Blair Witch still to me has some juice that I could see you ringing out and getting some shekels from. I don't know if people will get hyped for a Leprechaun. I don't know if that's going to be like the one people have to go out and see. Now, if it's streaming, that's different. But if it's a theatrical, people got to pay to see it. I don't know. I really don't know. So, Taylor Field, show your true quality.
Out of the Leprechaun films, did you ever see Leprechaun 4 in space?
Yeah, Leprechaun Goes to Space or Leprechaun in Space. I've seen them
okay.
all once.
You've seen them all once. Okay, good. Do you remember that scene in that one? And this is where it gets like wacky. He's trying to have sex with the woman, and his penis starts hurting. Kids, turn off your ears here. His penis starts hurting, and he's like freaking out. And he like looks down, and the Leprechaun like comes out of his pants where his cock is. It's fucking obnoxious. That's what you need to do. That'll sell tickets.
Absolutely. Kirklin, you save us.
My question was in regards to the Chucky reboot. Was that because I know Chucky's kind of been on the fence of like kind of ridiculous, but also freaky. What was it more so? Like, what was it leaning? Was it more serious? Was it just like a good balance of what the originals had?
So that's where it's tough because there's two Chucky properties happening right now. There was the Chucky movie they put out, which was a reboot with Mark Hamill, and that was the more serious, back to basics. This is a scary movie. And then you have the Chucky series, which is the more comedic, has Brad Dourif, like the same cast, everything like that. That's tongue in cheek. The show, which is cheaper, is getting a second season. I don't think that movie is getting a sequel. So that could answer your question right there. As far as I think it's tough too when you have a sequel or franchise that does start to go more into like the comedy side. It's hard to reel it back. It's hard to get back there because people kind of expect that. That was always the problem with Freddy too, where it's like it got so comedic and fun that people kind of went, okay, like I like Freddy cracking jokes and everything, but
yeah.
Very
very low interest in the franchise. I don't think I've ever seen a Leprechaun.
You're missing out.
Possible retro. I'm even hesitant to agree to that. I don't know. I feel like maybe a commentary would be fun, just being that energy.
I thought commentary would be better for sure on that one.
It's a good
too.
palate cleanse.
Yeah, but the fans vote.
It's a cleansing.
That's why we did our surveys. Remember That's why we did our surveys, remember?
Because when you ask stupid questions, kids, you get stupid answers.
We'd have to poll the listeners again next year because everyone mostly voted that they want retros of these movies, not commentary tracks, right? It's more digestible for people because you know why? They'd rather hear us talk an hour about the movie instead of they're not going to tune in an hour and a half Leprechaun and like
true.
They're not going to put it on. They just want to hear our pain. But for the movie, it had a budget of $10 million, so probably around $20 million, and then made 45. So it maybe made a profit, but it was not like slinging the money. It wasn't anything to write home about. So.
Right.
Jessica, do you have any interest in Leprechaun?
I am in the same boat as Kirk that I have not seen a single one, and I do not plan on watching this one as of right now. I do not have interest. Like you said, if it's streaming, I might put it on then, but I'm definitely not paying money for it at all.
At all. There you go. Well, what about Blair?
I mean, like if it was like a pay to watch, right? Not doing that either.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then what about on the other side, Blair Witch? Where obviously you had that first movie, talking about commentary tracks, one of our most disastrous commentary tracks where we did, and there was nothing to talk about because we all forgot that the Blair Witch is actually not that good of a movie once you know the trick. And it's just like, oh, this is a movie, and it's very nothing. And we thought it was going to scare Kyle. It didn't scare Kyle. So obviously that first movie comes out, that's a big classic, and then tons of straight to DVD and VHS movies. And then they did one a few years ago, which I actually quite enjoyed, but it was, and I thought it was actually better than the original, but just because like it's more of a like a movie. It's not like trying to be like, oh, this is a real tale. So like, what interests you as far as like that property? And also, do you think they should do like same thing, building off lore? Or do you think it should be like a clean slate? Here's the Blair Witch. We're starting over with this concept.
I think that. So wait, just to back up, the one that they did, I don't remember. Was that a continuation or was that a start over?
Yeah, the one a couple years ago, the new one, yeah, it was him literally looking for like his like sister or auntie or something. So it did tie to the first one loosely, but it did tie to it.
And was that one was somewhat successful?
Let me take a look. I can't remember. I feel like it wasn't. I think okay. So I think reception wise, it was like mixed of like some people really liked it, some people didn't. But I will find out box office wise what it did here.
Because I mean that might be the precedence for how they take this. If that was successful, they might continue on with that idea where it ties into the world and the characters can have little cameos from previous ones or whatever. But if that one wasn't successful, then it makes more sense to just do a complete cut and go new.
It's pretty much like Chucky, where so it was a $5 million budget, so probably about $10 million, and it made $45 million. So again, it made some money, but not like a investor. Like clearly, this came out in 2016. They haven't made a movie since then. They're just making one now. So I think it made them some money, but it wasn't a big hit to probably justify more. And this one was just called Blair Witch, also known as Blair Witch 3.
Well, if they put a 3 in it, then that.
They did. That's just Wikipedia. That's just Wikipedia saying that. The movie was just Blair Witch. There you go.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some fun to still be discovered in this franchise, but that's coming from someone that has only seen the first one and has only like I had a good time watching the first one because it was just like, what is this movie, and not really know anything about it, and you just get really into it. And I think what Travis was saying of like, once you know the trick, like how can you just keep banging that drum, So I don't know if I'd really be scratching at the bit for another one because, what was the other franchise? Was it Paranormal Activity that kind of had like the latest one? I think you and Taylor reviewed that, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, just Taylor.
Oh, just Taylor.
Oh, I thought you were with me for that one.
No, I meant to, but I didn't get to it.
Taylor was with someone.
I meant to.
With a ghost.
Yeah, just a cast of just ghost
Jennifer
Travis.
Aniston.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
Fuck, I gotta get her on more shows then. We got Jennifer Aniston on the roster. My God.
Only on Taylor's episodes.
What does she think about Blair Witch? What do you think about Leprechaun, Jennifer?
But I how did I even? Oh yeah, just comparing like the franchise where I feel like you can really milk that cow with Paranormal Activity because it's ghosts and it's pretty easy to just have that concept. But the fact that you have this Blair Witch, I don't even like what was the concept even? It was just take kids. Like or just people in general.
I don't know. I just remember there's always someone standing in a fucking corner, and then
Well, I think it was like the person or the creature would like kill the people, and then the person that's not doing it is like facing the corner because they're not looking. That was the creepy idea. I hope I remember that right.
I can't remember, but like, and that's the thing where like it does have that iconic thing because I literally got goosebumps when I thought about the person in the corner because you can know what that is and like because if you see someone in the corner you're fucked, it's over. But that was the thing with I think like all the Blair. I don't know about the straight to DVD ones. I don't think I actually watched any of those. I think I saw them like a little bit, but like with that one, the 2016 one, they still don't really like show things. Like it's all like camera tricks, and I think like maybe people wouldn't like that.
Was it found footage as well?
So the first one was found footage because like, oh, is the real thing, and then the second one is like a kind of a combo because they use like drones, so it looks a bit more high tech, like actually shot, but it's like drones. So it is supposed to be like a kids making a documentary about trying to find their sister or aunt or whatever, and it's again like it's similar beats. I did really like it, but I think that's maybe the trick that you'd have to unfortunately do is maybe show more stuff, show more the whatever the entity and stuff.
Yeah, I okay. I think we're kind of convincing me here that there is potential of more because just actually showing more stuff and not necessarily have like a big creature, but maybe just something in the background that you see. Because in the first one, you literally don't see anything. It's probably a budgetary reason, and also just
100%.
trying to make it as simplistic as possible. I also remember just like there was such a like a story behind that first movie, because didn't the actors actually like go into hiding? Like yeah, so like that's really fun. It's hard to
Yeah.
recreate that magic, right? When you just keep doing sequels for it.
Especially
But
nowadays, social media, everything. Like you're not hiding no
Yeah.
actors.
No,
there's
absolutely
there's no chance. Like Love Is Blind has a tough enough time trying to hide people's Instagrams for no spoilers and stuff. But yeah, that was one of those first like internet phenomenons of like, is this real? What is it? Like what is the
Right.
deal with Blair Witch? You know?
Yeah, and I think if they don't try and recreate that, like, oh, is this real? Or like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't ever see the monster, it's all found footage. If they just completely write that off, or not write that off, if they just disregard that and do something fresh, I think there's potential for it, which is fun because I didn't think there would be potential for it before we started talking about it. So maybe
Well,
I
they could
am
still
interested
they
in
could
this.
keep with that found footage, people making a movie thing, but still get shots of the monster or the entity, whatever it is. You know, maybe it's
Yeah.
not exactly like found footage in that sense, but it's, you know, we killed it and made this movie, and then go back to town and here it is. But I do think that in order to kind of keep it entertaining, you do have to show something. At this point, you know, I would have gone and watched the second one. I didn't ever finish it, but hearing that you don't see anything again, I still have no interest now to go and finish it again.
Yeah, they're good at doing the whole like vibe and tone of like feeling something's going on. I think the way to do it is like do a mixture of found footage and actually like shooting of a movie, because like again, not that this movie had that feeling of like, oh, is it real? We all knew it was a movie, but I feel like the movie that did like Blair Witch better nowadays was like Host a few years ago. Remember when we watched that during the pandemic era, the like Zoom movie? That's one where it's like, fuck, think about a small budget, what they would do with that. So to me, like either Blair Witch, you do something like that where you have to kind of reinvent it, and if you want to do found footage, or you just make it a movie where yeah, you give it a better budget, you show some creatures, whatever. But like if they want to go that route, they gotta look at Host, and that's the perfect example. Like, okay, how can you make something cheap and something new? But again, I feel like Host's gonna beat them because they could look at like, oh, we could use Blair Witch and do like a social media thing, but it's like, yeah, but luckily for them, I guess probably not many people have seen Host, so they with the name could kind of just lift that concept and do something like that. But what about you, Taylor? Where are you in this Blair Witch camp? You want more? And if you want more, what should they do with it?
Well, I could see Blair Witch having a little bit more of a stable foundation of success as opposed to Leprechaun.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't mind that kind of redo sequel one that we got, and I didn't mind the original one. I thought there was a interesting, intriguing story there that incited research and inquiry, I guess. The sequels were absolutely atrocious. I would never recommend those to anybody. And I mean, like,
Have you seen them all? Yeah, all the direct ones and everything. Like, isn't there one Ginger Snaps or whatever it is?
Something like that. I watched the second one, and I didn't like that one at all. I watched a bit of the other one. I think the third one. I thought, no, I'm turning this off. It's just so pointless and stupid. But no, like I've spent a lot of time watching, you know, just random miscellaneous people like in, you know, the real world, I guess you could say, going into like obscure places and finding weird shit that is in line with, you know, some of the things that they see in Blair Witch, even though that's just a movie aspect. So there's a very interesting component attached to this that they could run with. And I think one of the things that I enjoyed, because in Paranormal Activity, you're always subject to something moving and then a climactic thing at the end of the film where you see someone possessed. That's it. Yeah. Finally, and this isn't much of it's not really much of a spoiler, but finally in the latest one, the Kin one, Next of Kin, they actually give you this physical manifestation in a good dose of the movie, and this thing is fucking terrifying. The way they play with the cinematography to make your heart literally elevate and just be panicked. And I mean, you saw it, Travis. I'm sure you know like certain parts with the well, right? When that
I didn't see it. I just talked about this.
Oh, I thought you did see it, but you weren't.
You were on the review.
No, you were on the review. I meant to see it, but I didn't get to see it.
Oh,
but
okay,
it's not
okay.
like it's not like you had quite.
Gonna...
Oh no, it just sounds like you had quite an experience. Sounds like
Holy God, what are you showing me? Hey, come on!
You fucker.
Oh, that was good. Enough time had passed before the last one, so that was good.
Yeah.
I
But so
definitely
you think they go that
they'll-
route, an evolution of showing some of this stuff?
Yeah, they need to show something, and if they do it along the lines of that last Paranormal Activity, then fuck, they would have something really, really good.
Do you do it old school, like a found footage cam thing, like first person, or do you reinvent it and do full movie? Do you do a mixture? What do you do? They come to you to say, hey, what should be kind of the concept of this Blair Witch?
Well, I think found footage when it came out initially with like Blair Witch and stuff, I think it had like a negative stigma associated with it kind of going forwards. But some movies really pull it off well, and it works exceedingly well for horror movies. Again, Exhibit A exists. A great Sasquatch movie that's done with found footage, and they set it up with like
Exhibit A, that that
Exhibit
movie
A
you all love
exists.
exists. No one's ever
Exists.
fucking heard of
We're
this
like,
movie.
what exists?
you heard about it. You tagged me in it, Travis. On
I know
Twitter. You
I
know
did.
about
That's
it.
how I got your reference. But like usually when you throw out a big reference, you're like, yeah, everyone knows this movie, and it's like The Godfather 7. You're like, exists, and it's just
Exists.
like a smattering of applause.
The way they do the cinema in that is it's found footage, but it's not even. I guess it's kind of like in line with Paranormal Activity, but like a mix of like they set up cameras around the woods and they got the guy like recording with his handheld and stuff like that. And if it's done in a way that is works with the way the story is being told, then I think it's successful. But if it's just a shitty guy with a cell phone camera throughout the whole thing, then
Well,
it's
I
not
don't
going to
think
do
it's
justice. So.
Cell phone camera. I don't know if we'll go that route, but I guess phones are pretty good nowadays. So.
They are pretty good. I just need it to be believable in the sense where, okay, is this person really desperately going to dedicate their final moments in this horrible situation to keeping the camera on? That's what I need to be sold on.
Would you do that though, Taylor? If you're hunting for Bigfoot and your last moments you get a shot of the Bigfoot? Fucking
Fuck.
destroying you? See, right?
Oh.
Because like,
I
why not
would.
get a
But I
shot
mean,
of it?
if you're
Because
stuck in
you're
a
dying
tunnel,
for
though,
nothing.
what are you doing though? Like if you're stuck in a tunnel, and it's like, are you just gonna keep like the camera with you just so you can record it? Like,
Well, yeah, because if you're gonna die, why not die for nothing? There's a chance someone could find this footage and reveal some things that you went out hunting for.
you're right.
So I got to break the fourth wall, Taylor, because we've always talked about this. This is a long-term plan. I've told Taylor it's gonna be like the third or fourth movie. But when we make the Sasquatch GV movie, do you picture it as like a found footage movie or a movie?
It's gonna be like it might have a little bit of found footage, but most of the time it's gonna be like I'm thinking like movie because I want it to be like documentary style where we go out and we think we're just going out and having a good time, and then it's like, oh shit.
Found footage movie. It
That's
sounds
a found
exactly like
footage
Blair
movie.
Witch.
Yeah, that's a found footage. Documentary style is found footage.
We'll see.
Documentary style, they find the movie later on.
Every
our
found
corpse.
footage movie started as a documentary style. That's how it started. So we got that answer. And don't believe me, that is an early development. I'm not asking him any plot. That's one he's gonna write. So God, who knows? But anything else on Blair Witch or Leprechaun? No. Well, there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our newscast. If you listen to this, the Moon Knight review will be up. If not, go back and listen to everything else. Apparently I may have a mini newscast this week because we'll see on the Thursday what's happening. But there'll be a Halo review. There'll be a Massive Talent review. Spoilers. There'll be the Northman review. Lots of stuff popping off. So until you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Bye bye.
Adios.
Bye.